Truex NASCAR welcomes you to Sonoma Raceway in the Toyota Save Mart 350. What a wonderful place for a race, and what a beautiful sun-soaked day here in Northern California. We're at 79 degrees. The track temp is broiling, and we're enjoying a little wine and cheese and ready to go for our favorite race of the year. Hard to believe. It's been 19 years since Fox brought Fox attitude to NASCAR. Yep, that was year one. With Darrell Waltrip and Larry McReynolds, a 15-year threesome pairing. And we were joined 4 years ago by a young, just out of the car, Jeff Gordon, and I'll get to you in just a second. All right? But it's my job to turn the page from all the tributes, all the accolades. You know how we all feel about you, and turn our attention to this racetrack and to this day.
Yeah, you know, if you're at home watching this race, you're looking at it on TV, you say, what's so hard about this joint? It's just a little 2.5 mile. Looks flat on TV, right? This place is anything but flat. And let me tell you, I run Riverside, I run Watkins Glen. This, in my book, is the hardest road course you're ever going to run.
And what else is hard about it is strategy, and strategy will be all over the place. I love coming here because of watching that unfold. But what makes the strategy work is the faith and the chemistry between a driver and a crew chief. And DW, I worked with you 4 times longer than any other driver I worked with, and what's made it work is the faith and chemistry you and I have had together for 19 years. But with that said, when I tell you to pit, all I want to hear is, I'm in.
Are you sure?
Well, back in 2001, while we were busy talking about it, Jeff was busy doing it and winning what was then the Winston Cup Championship in our first broadcast year.
Yeah, I knew in 2001 that when Fox came on board, they were going to elevate the sport to a whole nother level and bring a lot of new fans to the sport. So as a competitor, you wanted to win that championship, and I was very fortunate to win that championship in 2001 and elevate myself and our team to a whole nother level because of it.
And here you are today.
And here I am.
And we're thrilled that you're here. Well, there have been a lot of changes here at Sonoma, and for the track's 50th anniversary, here's one of them. Here is the layout that we've run for the last 20 years, going from turn 4A straight across to turn 7. Now, the long course with the carousel is back. You leave the course at 4, down through turn 5, up and over the hill into 6 and 6A, and then a long shot to turn number 7. So interestingly, of the drivers in today's field, as you see the carousel, none of them have raced on this layout, but Jeff and Darrell, you two have.
And I can tell you, it changes this course dramatically. Not only is it a half mile longer, it's going to eat the tires up more. It's going to create more opportunities for passes and mistakes, and also it's going to heat those brakes up a lot.
All right, your starting lineup rolls across the bottom of the screen. Kyle Larson has the pole here for the 3rd year in a row.
What do you say we dial up our pole sitter? Hey, Kyle Larson, Jeff and the guys up in the Fox Sports booth, you got us?
Hey, I got you guys.
Well, man, you have certainly showed them how to get it done when it comes to qualifying. It's your 3rd pole in a row. Phenomenal job there qualifying. But what do you got to do? I mean, we've seen, where long run speed is so important. What do you got to do to get that long run speed out of this 42 today?
Yeah, I don't know. I just got to work hard to take care of my tires. You know, it's been something that I've tried to do forever. I think I always try and do it. I just guess I don't do a great job at it, but hopefully today's different. We'll see if we can learn some things. Get out to the lead here and learn some things. But yeah, cool to have a fast, credible bank Chevy there in qualifying. Hopefully get it done for the race.
Well, have fun. We're looking forward to it, and good luck today. Thanks for talking to us.
Yeah, thanks, and thanks to Darrell for all he's done for this sport. It's tough not hearing you up in the booth, so miss you.
Kyle Larson, who rolls from the pole. The outside pole sitter is an equally interesting story. William Byron, as Jeff's pointed out, has more simulator time than anybody, and to be able to hit your marks on a road course, all of that iRacing and other simulator time is crucial. And boy, he did it in qualifying. Now we're going to have to see how he fares under full-on Cup race conditions here. All right, let's get down to pit road, and let's find out what a bright sunny day it is right there. Matt.
Well, Mike, it never hurts to revisit the past when racing in the present. That's exactly what Clint Boyer's crew chief Mike Bugaravich did before coming out to Sonoma. He watched the last race that was the entire long course here back in 1997, just to get a feel for it. Clint Boyer has a great long run car, but he thinks it's all going to be on Bugga's shoulders today. Risk versus reward. What type of strategy will you play? Because like Richard Petty always said, circumstances dictate everything. We should see a lot today. Regan Smith.
Well, Matt, Jimmy Johnson comes in 3 points above the playoff cut line in 16th spot. He needs a good run today. He had a lot of confidence in this race car after the practices were over, but his final run in practice got cut short with a power steering pump malfunction. They got 1 lap in, so he's got a couple unknowns today. He does not know what this car is going to do on the long run and how well it's going to hold up, and he doesn't know if they actually fixed the problem because they didn't find anything wrong with it. They changed all the components on the car. He's going to have to overcome that today if he wants to get his second Sonoma win. Jamie Little?
Well, in 2018, it was Chase Elliott who had the best average finish on road courses, 3.6, and that included a win at Watkins Glen. So how will the number 9 fare today? Well, as crew chief Alan Gustafson told me, they know they're good on the short run speed. They're just not sure about the long run speed. And he also noted Chase always races better than he practices. He has track position on his side, by the way, starting on the 2nd row. Mike?
Thanks, Jamie. Here they come. Look at those cars, painted bright and beautiful. If yesterday's K&N Pro Series race is any indication, they won't finish up that way. 90 laps is the distance. Stages 1 and 2, 20 laps each. Remember, this is a much longer course than it was a year ago, but that final stage, 50 laps, is where a lot of that strategy will come into play. It's a long, looping pit road. It begins at the entrance to turn 11, comes all the way around the front straightaway here, and then off toward turn 1, and you're only allowed 40 miles an hour in that pit lane. They can go about 30 laps on a tank of fuel. The grip level is 1, and 4 drivers go to the rear. Kyle Weatherman qualified Ross Chastain's car while he was off winning. Eric Jones, adjustments to the car. Daniel Suarez had a money shift in practice. They changed an engine, and Daniel, and also the 51 car of Cody Ware. Let's look at the standings after 15 races. When you're in, and those drivers in yellow have punched their ticket to NASCAR's playoffs this year. Kevin Harvick, leader of the rest, including Kurt Busch, Ryan Blaney, and Alex Bowman. The cutoff is at position number 16. And that's where you'll find Jimmy Johnson with just a 3-point margin over Ryan Newman.
And this is why stage points, I think, are going to play out and be very important here today at Sonoma.
Years they've been racing here on Sears Point, sticking out into the bay of California. The best natural terrain road course in America. Such elevation change. Ricky Rudd was the first NASCAR winner here in the Cup Series, 1989. Steve Page, track president, went to Cal Berkeley. That accounts for the color of the curbing. And they're back.
I didn't think you'd do that.
Just for you. Who will hoist that champion's goblet and enjoy the fruit of the grape this afternoon? That's the question. So we now have 2 hairpins on this course with the addition of the carousel section. Not just turn 11. But there they leave the drag strip and head up to a big double apex U-turn, turn 7, and this will be a new challenge for these drivers.
Let's take a look at how these drivers are going to be shifting here today. Come to that start-finish line. Some might choose 4th or stay in 3rd. As you come around this left-hander, turn 1, down to 3rd, down to 2nd, then 2nd gear all the way through 3, 3A, around 4, all the way through 5. Now here's the carousel section coming down this hill, up to 3rd, up to 4th, all the way down to 1st gear, turn 7, coming down through the S's, maybe 2nd. Some might jump up to 3rd here, maybe even 4th as you come through turn 9. One of the fastest parts of the racetrack, turn 10 in 3rd gear, all the way down 4, 3, 2, 1, down in turn 11, the slowest part of this racetrack.
19 shifts around this racetrack.
Well, if you're running time trial laps, yes, it's now we're headed down toward turn 11. There's the 2019 Toyota Camry XSE that leads the field. As you come out of 11, there is a kink, but you're full throttle all through there, so we don't call it turn 12. What are we going to call it? Where are we going to go? I know who's going to take us there.
Well, I would call that Calamity Corner because it usually is. But Mike, I've been out here since Thursday. I've done everything in the world. I got a new car to drive. I've been given trophies. People have given me hugs and kisses. But this is what I wanted. It's what I've been waiting for these cars to come off of this corner. And guys, it's showtime. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Ooh, let's go racing today, boys.
Even to turn 2, and this is a choke point. The field accordions here, and they still look like they're on a pace lap.
Well, this is what I've been waiting for all weekend long to see what's going to happen. As we see William Byron takes the lead from Kyle Larson coming up over the top of the hill at 3A. But right here, here's that new section. I've been waiting to see, can you run side by side through this section and for how long?
Yeah, I think you can initially, Jeff. There's not a lot of dirt and gravel out of through there. And I think as this race wears on, that's going to get more and more difficult.
Down the hill, into the carousel. Off to the drag strip.
And Mike, that is huge down there. It's huge uphill, and it's also huge down. And here's what you don't realize. They're going uphill to turn 7. There's a little incline going up to turn 7.
And you can really get deep into the braking zone there. It's going to heat up those brakes a lot, but you can make some great passes there.
Yeah, I think
still side by side, by the way, turn 7.
I think turn 7 is a really, really great passing zone because it's wide. You can mess up, you go a little high, go a little low.
No surprise, Kurt Busch.
yeah.
Damage. Being
yeah.
really aggressive. I think maybe too aggressive in that first lap. Made a little contact.
Got to be careful. He rubbed into my 95 car.
Chase Elliott goes for second and gets it. Larson's stuck on the outside.
Now remember, Larson's been on the pole here many times, and he knows what the pace needs to be to save those rear tires. I really believe he's being extra conservative right now.
Larson has started on the pole 3 times, Mike. His average finish is 19. So he knew that going in. He knew he had work to do for this car to be good on the long run.
First time William Byron has led on a road course. Let's see if we can find the contact that Kurt Busch had.
You can see this is coming into the S as he clips that curb on the right side as he's trying to get inside his old teammate there. Clint Boyer made a little contact at his left rear, or right rear. That's a lot of smoke.
I don't know. I'd be worried about that. It won't last long.
We've seen where these fenders, when they get knocked into those tires, it doesn't take long for them to cut that tire.
Yeah, those fenders are mean, and those lips on those fenders, they'll eat that tire right up.
Taking this lead is a perfect opportunity for William Byron in the 24 because now he can just run some time trial laps.
Yeah, he can, and that's what he's probably been doing in the simulation he's been working on.
Well, your best friend when it comes to tires is clean air out front. So William Byron's got to try to figure out what that pace can be, not push those tires too hard, but keep that clean air. Here we go on board with Jimmy Johnson, that Fox visor camera.
But he's coming down. Look at that, 140 miles an hour downhill into a really, really, really tough right-hander right here. Now you got to charge this corner and then heavy braking, downshifting all the way into this corner.
34 miles an hour mid-corner. Right back on the gas.
The guy that's got to have a big, big smile on his face right now is Rick Hendrick, because he's got 2 cars running 1 and 2. He's got his superstars of the future. Chase Elliott maybe been there a while, but William Byron leading this race, that's a big deal for everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. Particularly Chad Canals.
And Chase Elliott, we've seen him win on a road course at Watkins Glen. He's had pretty decent success. His dad won his first race ever on a road course just like he did.
I think Chase is a racer. Maybe he doesn't. You don't always worry about where he qualifies, but when this race starts, when that green flag comes out, he turns into an animal. He goes somewhere. Kind of rough, Mike. You see those cars bounce a little bit as they head up to turn 7. A little uphill, a couple of big bumps as you get up there.
I think you got to really keep an eye. The 11, 19 of Mart Truex Jr., and also the 18 of Kyle Busch. I think these guys have that long run setup that's going to keep the rear tires underneath them the longest. So as this thing plays out, we start getting to lap 10, 11. Watch what happens the rest of the run.
You know,
a car like back from Kyle Larson. A little pressure out of turn 10 down to 11. Truex looks to the inside on his teammate Hamlin.
yeah, if I was Kyle Larson, I would be a little worried because I think he's holding up a pretty fast group of cars right now.
And that's a drag race off of turn 11, but Denny Hamlin had the outside line there, but it's not giving up that position to his teammate Mart Truex Jr.
And Mike, again, you come around start-finish line, you come around that left-hander, hit it. This is incredible. This is like 80 feet from the top of this corner down to the bottom down here, turn 1. It's an incredible uphill climb that you make right here, going up to turn 2.
3A, blind exit to this corner. You don't know where that car is going to land until you get there. And here we are entering 4.
And all weekend long in practice, we saw Kyle Busch have some major issues under braking into turn 4. Right there, made it nice and clean. Be curious to watch him throughout the day. Look how blind this is. You come over this crest, can't see anything, maybe the tops of those trees, and it's also flat up there where the rear tires can wheel hop very easily if you carry too much speed into the carousel.
Now you're climbing back uphill. Off the drag strip, onto this straightaway, and up to the braking zone of turn 7. Logano taking over third from Kyle Larson at turn 7. Great passing opportunity entering that corner.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the place right there. It's the safest place to get around somebody, I think.
And we saw Joey Logano in qualifying how well he was able to get into those braking zones. I thought he could outbrake anybody, so that's still what he has even in race conditions here today.
And Mike, that tire rub seems to have gone away on Kurt Busch's car.
One of the things that happens when you start one of these races, you talk about turns that you can't see and places on the track that are difficult. You get comfortable. You kind of pick a mark. You find a place, okay, I go to here, I go to here. Then as the race goes on, you get a little braver, and that's when you might get in trouble.
One thing we always see at Sonoma, a little heart-stopping curb hopping. Woo! Or a lot of it.
Welcome to the Toyota Save Mart 350. Today's race, we're celebrating 3 very significant milestones. First of all, TRD, or Toyota Racing Development, is celebrating its 40th anniversary and will serve as the Grand Marshal for today's race. At Sonoma Raceway, they're celebrating their 50th anniversary. And probably the biggest milestone is our good friend DW, Darrell Waltrip, will be calling his final race from the booth today.
Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, Ed.
I'm looking, Darrell, for your name on that.
No.
I'm sorry.
I got a question. So how many races you win at Riverside?
Oh, you got me.
Man.
You got me again. You got me again.
Jeff is the all-time winner here.
He is.
With 5. Now, how many did each of you win on this configuration?
Well, that's what I was going to say. We're even on that one, Darrell.
Did even again.
I maybe finished 2nd or 3rd here, but never won on this configuration.
I maybe almost won a couple of times.
Well, the 24 is out in front again.
It's the number. That's what it is.
What do you think, Reagan? Is it the number?
Well, it might have to be that number, and Jeff knows that very well. Hey, but no matter what, when you're out front leading the race, you can still learn some stuff. And perhaps the best teacher in the garage area is the guy on top of the 24 pit box checking us. Take a listen to what we just heard from him.
Let's be nice and smooth. Hit our mark. Be calm. Settle into a smoother pace. Nice and smooth. We really need to take care of our tires. All we're doing is maintaining on that 9. Nice and smooth. It's a very fast pace there. You're a second faster than the 9 that lap.
Sounds like a lullaby.
No, it sounds like a recording.
Dial-a-tone.
Yeah, right.
Denny Hamlin got by Kyle Larson, but perhaps not without a little bit of contact.
Yeah, this is coming through the carousel, coming into the carousel. Looks like the 42 gave him a little bit of room. Denny gets a little loose going. And again, you've said this many times, Joe, you can't appreciate from our camera angles the amount of elevation change as you come over that crest. I think the 42's, he's in trouble right now.
Yeah, he is.
Martin Truex is coming, Matt.
Lurking right there in 5th, Mike chasing down his teammate Denny Hamlin. Now, Martin will tell you that he spent some time in the simulator before coming to Sonoma, but it doesn't give you the sensation of speed and the rise and the falls of the elevation. But once he hit the racetrack, he really acclimated himself quickly to the longer course. His car great on the long run in practice. 6, 7, and 11. His car just rolled so smoothly through there. But the biggest thing, think back to last year. They did not play it for stage points. They played it for the end game, the trophy. He led the most laps, but if you look at the stages, 11th and 17th, that's where he finished. That's the game plan they're going with today as well.
We'll see several different strategies employed as this plays out in stages of 20, 20, and 50 laps.
And Mike, as good as the 24 William Byron is right now, it can flip a switch. It's like, yeah, the best car out there, and all of a sudden, what the heck happened?
Now, two drivers much improved from their qualifying and moving up. A few drivers, Eric Jones, Daniel Suarez, who had to start at the back because of an engine change.
And this 20 car of Eric Jones had a really strange issue in qualifying where his left rear tire had a puncture and it was going flat right from the beginning. Actually came apart during qualifying, so that's why he's starting in the back.
You're on board with Kevin Harvick, who is up 4 positions from where he started. Telemetry and track map lower left.
And even though these cars are manual transmissions with a clutch, you don't have to use the clutch because of the types of straight cut gears that these transmissions have. So left foot braking seems to be the best way to get around these racetracks. But, for all the drivers today, I mean, I know back in the day there were guys that would heel toe, but these days almost 100% across the board left foot braking.
Well, not only is Kyle Larson a 3-time pole winner here, Jamie McMurray, former driver that #1 for Chip Ganassi Racing, he's had his share of starts right at the front. What are you seeing in these early laps?
Yeah, Mike, this was always one of my favorite tracks to come to, but I was just looking at Kevin Harvick and that great shot of his throttle pedal. And one of the tricks that guys will do at this track is they'll make the throw of that throttle pedal longer than what you have at intermediate tracks, and that just helps the driver be able to control the wheel spin that they have on the exit, especially of turn 7 and turn 11 at this track. At this point in the run, the tires are spinning so bad on the exit that having a little longer throw is really a benefit.
Yeah, Jamie, I talked to Kevin and Ronnie Jones down there this morning at the driver's meeting. They were not very optimistic about this car today. They said, we just have not been able to hit it this weekend. The car's just not operating the way we think it should, and Kevin agreed. So not sure they're real happy with that race car at this point.
So Kyle Larson in 6th, just ahead of Kyle Busch. Larson, same thing happened to yesterday's pole sitter, Haley Deegan, started out front within about 2 or 3 laps. Was back about 7th spot, but still had a top 10 day. Teammates battling again.
I think this time Denny Hamlin, he was working on trying to get past either Joe Logano or Larson. The last time this pass was attempted, this time he knows his teammate's been stalking him maybe a little bit faster. Let me ride behind Martin Truex Jr., see where he's better. Maybe we can make some adjustments, or I can make an adjustment from behind the wheel.
Yeah, I think Martin Truex Jr. is an outstanding road racer. I'm not sure we always give him the most credit that we should, but I believe he's exceptionally good on these road courses.
Riding with Kyle Busch in 7th, up and over turn 3A and headed for 4. Whoa! Too close for comfort right there.
I unlock cool NASCAR experiences with this Coca-Cola wristband. Grab a Coke and check it out. You're watching NASCAR on Fox.
Outside pole sitter William Byron has led all 10 laps so far. Here's his bright yellow Henry Motorsports Chevrolet up and over turn number 2. Chase Elliott in pursuit. Martin Truex, fastest car on the racetrack right now, 3rd. Chevy, Toyota, then Joey Logano's 4th, then Denny Hamlin and pole sitter Kyle Larson.
Yeah, that 19 car, Mike, he's got a lot of speed in that car. He's gotten by the 22 of Logano. He's closing down the back bumper. The 9 of Elliott. That car's fast.
Yeah, as soon as he got into clean air, I mean, he took some big chunks out of that gap between himself and the 9 car, Chase Elliott.
Heading for 6 in the carousel. Look at this demon drop all the way downhill until you get to the apex. Right there.
Oh, the back end steps out for the 19. And, you know, everybody I've talked to said, man, I'm so tight. The front tires will not turn through the carousel. Obviously not the case for this 19 Truex.
I saw a little smoke out of the 9 right there. I guess he got on the brake a little hard, maybe locked up a tire, but I saw a little smoke out of that 9 car.
And here's turn 7. Looks like Kyle Busch making his way by the 42 there, but you know, heavy braking zone into there, and then it's just long hairpin. I mean, it's still a very tight corner, but a few different lines you can take there, and then it gives you that launch into these S's as you come downhill.
Yeah, I think what I see with 7, like you go in pretty tight and you float it out. You dime in the corner, like to say. That does give you a nice exit out of that corner down the start of the S's.
We saw the 19 Mart Truex Jr. slide the left rear tire out, exiting turn 10. Here he goes again, sliding the back. I'm just wondering, can he continue to do that, not overheat those rear tires, and still make up time at the end of this run?
Well, he's only got to make 8 more laps, and he can get him some fresh ones. So I think a lot of these guys with these stage breaks, 20 laps, that's right on the edge of your tires, you know, being good or bad. They can push you pretty hard, knowing they're going to get a caution here.
I was optimistic that you think he's going to go all the way to 20.
Well, he might not. That's a good point.
Well, that is a good question. Larry Mack, what are our options here as far as running out this first stage or perhaps pitting before it ends?
Yeah, I think we're going to see 2 different agendas here. I know for sure, talking to Cole Byrne, crew chief of Mart Truex Jr. at 19, his thinking is he will pit before the stage ends. Remember, they closed pit road with 2 to go, so you have to get on the pit road before they close pit road. I think you're going to see a lot of drivers hit pit road before that stage and then stay out, but I think there's so many drivers, Mike, that they're longing for more stage points. I think they'll stay out and try to collect those stage points and run it out to the end at lap 20.
William Byron leading at Sonoma. We're going to take you Fox side by side. 14 complete of 20 in stage 1 at Sonoma. Road racing through California wine country, and here Martin Truex has caught second place Chase Elliott.
Yeah, and Mike, this is when it gets difficult. If you're Chase Elliott and you got Martin Truex Jr. breathing down your back, you know you got to try not to make a mistake and open a door for him, but you don't want him pushing you at this point in the race. So I think Chase Elliott's a pretty smart guy. He may just decide that at some point here to let that 19 go.
Turn 11. Truex is right there to the bumper. Chase gets a good drive off. Closes the door. Coming to the line.
And that's where Truex is so strong, is how that car accelerates off those corners. Seems like he has less wheel spin than anybody right now.
Clint Boyer moves up to 11th on Jimmy Johnson, also at turn 11.
Yeah, Jimmy's been fading here a little bit these last few laps. Obviously having some rear grip issues with his car right now also.
Yeah, I've seen his car sideways a couple of times. Like he just doesn't have any rear tires on it.
Now turn 7 seems to have become the new primary passing point.
Well, and the old turn 7 was a passing zone, but nothing like the new one. Now you have this long straightaway as you come out of the carousel. You lead into turn 7. And it's a long, heavy uphill braking zone. You can drive really deep in here. Here's the 18 of Kyle Busch going to the inside of Kyle Larson. Now you could possibly, if you overshoot that, you could see somebody do that crossover pass to get back ahead of him.
But I think that's what makes that such a great spot, Mike. It's forgiving. If you go in too hard, you just push out a little wide. Maybe you lose a spot, maybe you don't. But it sets you up again for a great shot down those S's.
Well, part of the science of road racing is if you're going to get past, try to have it done where it doesn't ruin your lap, and turn 7 is great for that. You go a little wider, the car that has the inside line makes the pass, you get your drive off, and no harm done. Jamie.
Chase Elliott about 5 seconds back in second right now. A lot of discussion on the radio with his spotter Eddie DeHaan talking about the line of the 19 and the 24. Chase has been pretty happy with the car, but just now saying he's used up those front tires. Too tight, just won't turn.
I see that a lot here in turn 11, the 19 of Truex Jr. He really eats up the lead that the 9 has on him and getting down into turn 11 right here.
Alex Bowman going after his teammate, taking away the inside line on Jimmy Johnson at 11.
That 48 car's gotten real loose. I noticed the back end stepping out.
Regan?
Well, it's actually the front tires that are the problem for Jimmy right now. He's complaining extremely tight. The tight is what's causing the loose off the corners. He has burned the front tires off. Can't get the car to rotate and point in the direction that he wants to on the exit of the corners.
At 16 laps, Matt DiBenedetto is in the pit lane with 4 to go in this stage.
And Mike, it's funny how that works. When your front tires go, you put more wheel in it. When the front bites, then the back end steps out.
What do you think, crew chief?
Well, Mike, we're going to be 3 laps to go when we come back. And what I've been clocking, if you're more than 14 seconds behind the leader, remember when that leader hits the stripe with 2 to go, it's closed. If you're more than 14 seconds, you've got to come this time if you're going to pit before the stage ends.
Yeah, I have a feeling that pit road's getting ready to get busy these next 2 laps.
And you can easily pit here without losing a lap. William Byron with a 5-second lead now on Chase Elliott. Will Byron stay out and get his first stage win, or will he pit before the stage ends to get set for stage 2?
Oh, I think these guys are going to have to go for those stage points. This is just, it means too much to them where they're at in the points. But I am so impressed with the drive right now, that 24 car, William Byron, and how that car's holding on with speed here as we close into the end of the 20 laps in the stage.
Well, Friday afternoon, you ran a few laps in our Fox NASCAR 2-seater. You ready to get back out there?
I got to say, I had a lot of fun.
All right.
It got me encouraged, but I'm having some fun up here.
It's 140 degrees out there. It's about 72 in here. You might want to think about that.
I think I'm
Ryan
good.
Blaney
I think you're good.
and Clint Boyer in the pit lane. Green flag stops as we come down. 3 to go in stage 1. Matt?
Bogdanovich, first, second, third, the past 3 races here. Chassis adjustment on the 14 of Boyer. They're going to go with the strategy of the end game, going for the trophy. They need much more grip on this 14 car and a pogo effect going through the S's. Jamie?
For Busch in the 1, he had that damage early on, that left front damage, but the tire held on. They've just made a change. The 2, Brad Keselowski not happy with the car. He's been running about 19th or 20th this entire race so far. Wants some adjustments, a wipe on the grill there, tighten him up just a little bit.
Eric Jones, Austin Dillon, We're hearing Chase Elliott and Martin Truex may come and pit this time.
And again, you got to go back to the points. Those guys that are high up in points and very secure, and that would be Truex and Chase Elliott, even though, oh yeah, he actually does have a win at Talladega. Those guys are pretty secure. Of course, they're looking at the end game. They're not as focused about stage points as some of these others, like our leader, William Byron.
William Byron is only 22 points above. Oh, spin! And that is McDowell, veteran road racer.
No caution, though.
Grabbed a gear and got going again.
The road's a busy place, guys.
Now that,
and Truex.
I can promise you, those guys were hoping there was a caution. That would have been the absolute perfect scenario for them.
Matt?
And Truex comes into his box, and the car was neutral, but started to lose drive off, especially down in 7. Right side's going on. Gasman's looking for the second can. Jamie.
Elliott said he used up those front tires. He'll be happy to get some new ones right here. Ford tires, air pressure adjustment, track bar adjustment to free him up.
Pit road now closed. It closed, as Larry pointed out, as soon as William Byron came past the line with 2 laps to go in stage 1. So the die is cast. The first 12 cars have not pitted. Mike McDowell with a quick spin and go. Did he have some help?
Looked like he was trying to go to the inside of Jimmy Johnson. Gets to his rear bumper, and there goes the 4 of Kevin Harvick trying to sneak his nose in there, makes contact.
Yeah, the 48,
McDowell lights it up and keeps on cooking.
The 48 was holding the 34 up a little bit. Harvick saw an opportunity, but then the 34 closed the door and they made contact. Right here. Close the door.
Not exactly sure where Kevin Harvick was going to go.
I think he thought he'd follow that 48 out a little wider and he'd get some inside room right there and take him out of the S, but he didn't do it.
I just think even if Kevin Harvick had gotten there, I don't know if he completes the pass getting into the S's.
Well, remember, he's a little frustrated with that car.
He has been, you're right.
Larry, how about Joey Logano?
Well, I talked to his crew chief, Todd Gordon, on Friday, and I asked him about strategy. And he said, Larry, if we're in a position to score a lot of stage points, we cannot give them up. We're in a battle with Kyle Busch in the 18 for the regular season points lead. Remember, in 10 races after today, that regular season points leader gets 15 playoff points, and that's why they stayed out. They're just not going to give up those stage points.
All right, well then how about the 11, Larry? Because I thought for sure with a couple wins with Denny Hamlin that he and Gabehart would choose to come down pit road.
To me, if you're one of those guys that you've already won a race and you stayed out like Logano, like Hamlin, you're just thinking about trying to stack up as many points to get as high as you can in the regular season points. But yeah, you would think that they'd be worried more about the big picture, and that's the checkered flag.
Yeah, I think I would want to hear the radio communication with Denny Hamlin after they pit when this stage is over.
Yeah, I think the big picture, maybe in this first stage, though, I think the big picture comes into play in the second stage as you set up for the finish of the race. So I think everybody tries a little something maybe different here. But I think the second stage, the 20 lap series, where we get to see some strategy played out.
Look at William Byron hitting every apex, nailing it just right. He's run 20 time trial laps as we come down to the end of this segment. What's up with Logano?
Also go back to 12.D when I set everything off. Still battery 1. Copy that. Let me know when it gets back to 12.0. Or if we can leave all the fans off, we'll do the calculations. I think we can run it.
Electrical issues for Logano.
And let me tell you, when you turn all the fans off on a road course, it will cook you.
Stage 1. William Byron in a Hendrick Chevrolet comes across the line to pick up his first stage win and the first laps he's ever led on a road course.
And that was in dominating fashion too.
I want to see if I can rip me a car like that. I like that car.
Hamlin second, Logano, Larson, Almirola. William Byron's rental rocket wins stage 1.
Hey Daryl, it's been an amazing ride, man. It's been so awesome to grow up not only watching you on the racetrack, but then of course seeing your transition to the TV booth. Listening to you for all these years, it's been really, really cool to be able to hear your stories and to be able to hear your take on our sport. We appreciate what you've done for it all this time, and of course we wish you the best in the future and whatever you're going to do next. Not sure what that is, but I know you're going to figure it out and do it at your best.
Kind words from the Candyman.
I like that boy.
Now you tell us.
Yeah,
right.
In case you didn't know.
He is a wheelman. There's no doubt about it.
And carrying our thanks DW camera.
Yeah, let me tell you, you got a lot of trophies too. I can attest to that.
He's going to have to build a new building.
Nice job for Chris Buescher, finishing 6th in this stage. Kevin Harvick got up to 8th through pit stops. Menard 9th, Jimmy Johnson 10th. They all get a few stage points, but Buescher's impressed this weekend.
He has been, and I've heard from different drivers that he really is a great road racer and knows how to get around this track and hold on to those tires. But top 12 did not pit until this stage is going to end here.
Well, one of those who did prior to the end of the stage was Kyle Busch.
I have a turn 7, 8 problem. Acceleration. I feel like the car is low on the left. Like when you guys scale it, I know it's scaled with driver weight, but it's like it's not enough or something because I feel like I'm squashing the left side more than I should. Maybe I ate too much for lunch.
Isn't that something that, you know, these cars are mathed out to the 1,000th of an inch in ride heights and spring rates and all those things, and yet a guy like Kyle Busch can sit there and tell them, I think it's a little low here on this left side.
He's a pretty sharp guy. He knows his race cars, I can tell you that.
Thanks to Peter Larson, the folks at BSI, for putting in Cameron Styles' car to honor DW.
Yeah, and Mike, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thanks to Gary Sousa, who brought the Tide car for you to drive and play with Friday afternoon, to Mike Thurlow and Ken Epsman and Brian Farron and Ken Adams, who brought the Fox and the NASCAR Ride and Drive 2-seaters to give a lot of our crew a thrill and feel just what it likes to be in the right seat around Sonoma.
I was so glad. I know Jeff is too, and I was so glad I went out and run some laps. Even though I'd run the carousel before, been 20 years ago, it was just good to acclimate yourself to the track and what it does and what it feels like. It's very, very helpful. And driving that Tide car, now that was a thrill.
Well, let's see if these crews can help these cars. Matt.
Hamlin's in. He felt like the 19 of Truex was only better in turn 11. A chassis adjustment, trying to get more forward bite off the corner. Two separate issues, sliding the nose as well. An air pressure adjustment there. Regan.
William Byron hits his pit stall. He's got a clear opening in and out with that race car. They knew they were going to lose the track position, but wanted to do that for the stage points. He's been quiet on the radio. All he wants is a water in that car on the right side of the screen. Kyle Larson, his race car has been too tight all day long. 4 tires for him.
That number 1 pit stall is going to work out for Kyle Larson as he's going to jump back up to second off of pit row, but William Byron lost a position there to Hamlin and Larson. We say we dial up our stage winner. William Byron, Jeff and the guys up here in the Fox Sports booth. You got me?
Yeah, it's 10-4, I got you.
Well, buddy, you look like an ace out there, man. I tell you what, you're wheeling it in dominating fashion. Tell us about your race car and what you're looking forward to here once we get going again.
Yeah, it's been really good. It's you know, our goal was kind of to go for the stage points there, so got those, which was nice. Car was turning pretty good. I was surprised that the rears held on as good as they did, but I think the track will just continue to get better for what we've got going on with the rubber getting laid down. So pretty excited about that. You guys are doing a great job, so looking forward to it.
Well, you didn't see what happened there behind you because you took the lead early, but tighten those belts up a little bit because those double file restarts are going to be fun to watch, and I'm sure it's going to be pretty fun inside there. Thanks for talking to us.
10-4, sounds good. Thanks, Jeff.
Stage winner, William Byron, will restart 18th. The first 15 cars now all pitted before the end of stage 1. Stage 1 complete at Sonoma as we thank Darrell Waltrip for 19 years in the broadcast booth, capping his second Hall of Fame career. I like those chrome numbers, by the way. And it raises, now our Fox folks, they're very helpful, Darrell, and they have a few ideas of things you might do in retirement. You could join Joe and Troy, where's Troy? On Thursday Night Football. You could go on.
No.
You know what that is? Naked and Afraid.
I would never have a tattoo like that.
WWE comes to Fox this fall. You could be the Masked Singer. Or maybe just do it in the bodybuilding.
Now, baby, you mess with me.
Our production people are just too helpful, aren't they? And by the way, thanks to Eric Shanks, our CEO, for presenting you with that beautiful 56 Buick Roadmaster convertible to you and Stevie as a gift from Fox, and a thank you.
That's the neatest thing in the world. I love that Buick Roadmaster. Big old wire wheels, big white walls, and Stevie and I are going to enjoy the heck out of that thing.
And don't forget to let Hammond out of the trunk.
I'll let him out eventually. But I got up this morning, man, I said, I'm 30. I feel 30 years old. I go out there and race today if I want to. And I went and looked in the mirror and I said, no, you're 72. Just forget it.
Thanks to Dale Ledbetter and the folks at Hendrick Performance for helping us put that great gift together and getting it out here. Here we come to the Geico restart zone. It'll be Chase Elliott, Martin Truex, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, Clint Boyer, Matt DiBenedetto, Stenhouse, Keselowski, Newman, and Kurt Busch, the top 10. Hendrick Motorsports has led every lap today so far.
Get a little testy here at the top of this hill. Let's see what Truex can do.
Chase Elliott runs wide in turn 1.
Yep, open the door.
That's why you really question, if you're the leader, which lane do you want to choose? Because what's the inside quickly turns to the outside.
Great shot right here. The cars through 3A and downhill. This is such a short little chute here to turn 4. And man, you got to be on your game right here or you'll run off the track on that outside.
Well, Chase Elliott putting a lot of pressure on Martin Truex Jr. Didn't like that he lost that lead. Newman real loose off the 4.
They're going to be side by side all the way through the carousel and up to 7.
To me, this is one of the elements that have made road racing so exciting to watch because of the double file restarts and all the different bumping and banging and different aspects of it that people are just fighting for that track position.
I think, Mike, here's where the 19 shines. Through the S's and down into turn 11. He seemed to get through there better than anybody.
Now look back here where some of those guys are.
Newman caught out. A couple drivers trying to make advances like McDowell up into 7, and Byron making outside passes going into 7.
Yeah, he's got just a couple laps fresher tires, which can make a difference. Sometimes those hot tires, even if they have 1 lap on them, can get a little bit of buildup on them. So advantage to William Byron, at least for a couple laps here. And Denny Hamlin and those guys that took tires.
Look at Brad Keselowski in the 2, gained a bunch of spots, dropped back a bit. Those arrows indicate gains and losses since the restart.
Haven't talked much about Keselowski, but he's a great road racer and he's up there in the top 10. He's running 7th right now, so keep an eye on that 2 car.
He's just a fighter.
He is.
I mean, he's tenacious.
That's the way to put it. I love it.
I got that from you, actually. don't say I wasn't listening along the way.
I always think about what Roger Penske said about Brad Keselowski. He has a bigger windshield than anybody else. He sees things out there on that racetrack that a lot of guys just overlook. That's what makes him so good.
Daniel Suarez qualified well, but he had a money shift, meaning going from 2nd to 3rd, got 1st instead. End of engine change start in the back.
Yeah, when you said money shot, I said, no, he blew the engine up. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Here comes Brad. Here's Jamie.
When you look at Brad Keselowski when he's done on road courses, he hasn't won a road course race yet. You look at Watkins Glen, though, runs great there all the time, but you come to Sonoma and he struggles. And I talked to Brad about that this morning. He said, technically, this place just hasn't clicked for me. I can't get a rhythm here, and I just always struggle. And today he has been struggling. He's talked about the carousel multiple times and how tight. So they made a track bar adjustment and an air pressure adjustment to help him out there.
You know, Jamie, I think about golfers, and you hear a golfer will have an extraordinarily great tournament, and they'll say this course fits his style. And I think race car drivers are, horses for courses. And maybe this just doesn't fit Brad Keselowski's style of the way he likes to race.
Certainly not like Watkins Glen, a very fast.
Yeah, where he's so good.
Our pole sitter Kyle Larson currently 13th. Riga
Well, we documented the struggles of how tight that race car was. His race car was so tight that the right front tire was actually graining, much like it did in practice. That's where the rubber, when it comes in on the tire, does not look smooth, as we see it on the right side of the screen right there. That's not good for the race car. Another issue, though, they found a cut in the right rear tire of that car when he came onto pit road.
Tell you what, Mike, the grip is at such a premium. These tires, they take a beat in their left or right. You're accelerating, you're braking. And the guy that can manage that, like Martin Truex, is the guy that's usually pretty hard to beat.
Now that's an area that, of course, you can talk a lot about the carousel coming back. And you saw right there, the 19 of Truex, his car points so well to the exit of that carousel, but the 9 car was struggling. Saw the front end just not wanting to cut point to get back down that hill.
17 car's running pretty good, guys. I've seen Alex, he's running 8th right now and doing a nice job.
Must be the number.
Must be.
Last year's road course winners up front.
That's a good looking car. I don't care what you say.
1, 2, 3. Sonoma, Watkins Glen, and Roval track winners. I think we keep the Roval in that conversation. It is a road course. It does have right and left turns, even though it encompasses most of the big 1.5 mile oval at Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Oh, I absolutely think you include it because of the challenges of that racetrack, infield, the high banks. I mean, it is a very challenging racetrack.
I love Marcus Smith and his group. I mean, they own this joint here, and that Roval, that changed the way people think about Charlotte.
Kyle Busch getting a great launch off of turn 2, and Ryan Blaney recognizes it, and he says, "You go on by."
It's a smart move. You just can't have somebody on your back bumper hounding you when, you know, one mistake and they're put you in the weeds.
And this track is as much about survival as it is about attacking those braking zones.
Kyle Busch has moved up to 3rd behind Martin Truex and Chase Elliott.
Dirt track.
Whoa!
Whoa!
The passing years will show what is hip. Tell me if you think you know.
The all-new Silverado. the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever. 29 complete in Sonoma. Chevrolet led the first 21 laps of this race. William Byron, Martin Truex now out front. Clint Boyer had to surrender position and come to pit road under green while we were in commercial. What happened, Matt?
Mike, as we started stage 2, Boyer asked the team, did they get all the wheels tight? The changers nodded affirmative, but once we were back to green, Boyer said, I've got a bad vibration. There's the right rear wheel that came off that 14 car. You can see the holes are oblong, meaning that they were indeed loose.
That was pretty serious. Those holes were walled out big time.
So now what becomes Boyer's strategy? He's still on the lead lap.
Play here, man. Save tires, save fuel, or go like hell, or what we need to do. I tell them to go like hell. Make sure we don't lose much more time so we can pit with 3 to go again.
Larry?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's going to have to pit either before the stage ends or at the stage ends. So I agree. Go ahead and run this thing and run it hard, and let's see where we end up, because everybody's going to make a stop, probably the majority of them, with about 2 to go in this stage.
Well, let's check on Joey Logano. We heard about electrical issues during stage 1, but since this restart, he's gained the most positions, 10 of them. Regan, he's 14th, going for 13th.
Mike, Joey's got a fast race car, as you just said. The plan right now is to turn all the fans off on that race car. That means brake fans and everything, except for his driver air conditioner. He's going to run that during the race. They should be fine. They anticipate that the battery will hold up with all the other fans off for the rest of the race, and they even anticipate turning on a few of those fans at the end of the race later on. He did ask for an ice pack on the pit stop, otherwise good to go.
Jamie Mack, what's all this mean?
Well, I don't know about you, Jeff, but I have told them before that I was going to turn my driver air conditioner off because it's hot. Yeah. You work so much harder at a road course than you do at the ovals, except for maybe at a place like Bristol, and it's hot today. It's 90 degrees outside. So I think Joey's probably really thankful right now that they've told him he can keep that on.
Yeah, and Jamie, I can tell you one of the hottest races I ever ran and really got dehydrated in was right here in Sonoma. This place is really tough on you.
Tough on Eric Almirola, who's around.
Yeah,
right back on.
You know what I tell him? You need to fix the car. I ain't turning on no air conditioner.
I'd say, hey, go get another battery.
That's right.
Almirola went off at turn 3A. That's that right-hander with a blind exit. But came right back on and kept digging.
And as we went to break, we saw him climb that curb, and the car, I thought, was going to tip over. I just wonder if he did that same thing again, got a little bit too much of the curb.
Got a little damage on the 6 here. I know Logano worked like crazy to get by the 6. Not a big surprise there, but quite a bit of damage on the on the nose here of the 6 car. It's up above the grill opening, so I don't think it's a problem, but he's run into the back of somebody.
Cosmetic damage.
Yes.
Listen, if at the end of this race that's all he has is damage, he'll be doing good.
Here's a guy right here that's as smooth as silk, strong as steel. He gets around the road course about as good as anybody here.
Well, Darrell, your old numbers are right together.
Yeah.
A couple of them.
Yeah. Well, the 17 was known to chase the 11 every now and then, so and that's what's happening right here.
And the 95 up in 5th place, Matt DiBenedetto, with carrying the colors that you first ran.
I drove one from Dale
Yeah, that's
Earnhardt.
right. Steve Park's car.
Yeah.
Martin Truex Jr. with a 1-point-second lead on Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, and Matt DiBenedetto. 32 laps complete in Sonoma. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Win your battles, earn your name. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. There's Mart Truex Jr. going up turn 1. Chase Elliott 2.3 seconds back, and Kyle Busch 3.5 back. They put a good bit of distance on the field. Ryan Blaney 7 seconds back in 4th, and Matt DiBenedetto having a great day here. 9 seconds back of the leader in 5th under a little pressure. Paul Menard, turn 11.
Gotta hold on. After the 77.
Oh man, it's so frustrating when you spin out right there and you have to wait for all those cars to go by before you can get going again.
He was 23rd. Here he comes. Bright yellow and black.
He's kind of putting a block. I believe is at McDowell.
Yep.
Yeah, you can see he moved down, and McDowell was just already committed to that braking zone, and I just don't think he could get it slowed down enough to stay out of the right rear of the 21 Menard.
And Mike, again, that's that entry I was talking about. You will stay out and make a little late entry, make good time that way, but you can't do it when somebody's racing you.
Ooh, now there's some heavy damage to the nose.
Oh, I don't like the looks of that.
That pony needs some dental work.
Yep. I get a new bit.
How about William Byron, Joey Logano, and Eric Jones? They are all fighting for 11th place, nose to tail. I'm impressed with Byron. I thought after running 20 time trial laps, he'd get back there in double file traffic and would have a hard time moving up. But he's gained 6 spots since the restart.
Well, obviously, he goes wide there off of turn 10 as soon as you say that, Mike. But I think that first run gave him a lot of confidence. He knows he has a fast race car. He got into a rhythm, start hitting his marks. He knows what he's capable of doing, and he knows he has a good race car if he could just keep all the fenders on it as he works his way up through here. But obviously that strategy, in the long game is going to hurt them. So I'll be very curious to see what they do as we close in on the end of this stage.
Oh, he's got an ace in his pocket. His name is Chad Canals.
Well, let's go to Chad's former partner back at 20th place. Here's Jimmy Johnson, and let's ride and listen with our Fox visor cam heading for turn 3.
Here telemetry over there on the left of your screen showing how much throttle and brake pressure and mile per hour and RPM there.
Just doesn't seem to be able to hustle the car.
You can hear the rear tire spin a little.
Soft air.
Goes downhill, now uphill blind. Interesting, chose a downshift there.
It's kind of longer on the throttle. Wait.
Working that steering wheel.
Up to turn 7.
Quick little downshifts to turn first gear. Look how long it takes him to get. I don't even think he ever got wide open before he got into the S's.
He just doesn't have any rear grip in that car. I mean, you hear it all the way around the track. He just can't hustle it right now. You have to do something to get it better.
Remember, they were talking about his front tires just weren't cutting. I'm just wondering if he's trying to get the front to cut. It's not, and then he just snaps the rear around.
Yeah, the push loops, that's the worst feeling in the world.
You just have to be so patient at this racetrack. Such a finesse track.
Let's go back to 6th, 7th, and 8th. Keselowski, Hamlin, Suarez.
Well, Denny Hamlin has a very fast race car. Remember, his teammates leading this race, and Mart Truex Jr. I think Kyle Busch is also one of the better cars. But Denny Hamlin choosing to stay out for that stage definitely lost him a lot of track position. We'll see if he can't gain it back. He has the race car to be able to do it. Great job going to the outside of Suarez here in this braking zone, and then holding that line, holding down the 41 and never giving up that.
Remember, Suarez started in rear, so he's up in 8th place. That's a pretty good job by that team to get him up there in contention.
Same spot here, turn 7.
He's going to try it again. Has Denny Hamlin found something here? He's got a little bit fresher tires and a really good race car. Ooh, you can't get side by side as you go into this area. It's so narrow. I think Denny's found something there, though. He knows those guys are going to block him low, open up the door to the outside in that braking zone in 7. If he can get a little bit closer to Brad Keselowski, I think he can fix that pass.
I love that move, Jeff, but I'm a little bit worried about just what happened there. If that car you're racing with doesn't give you a little room when you exit that turn 7 area, he'll run you off the track. Accidentally, obviously.
Really? Accidentally?
Drive of the day so far, Matt DiBenedetto and Eric Jones with Kurt Busch in the pit lane with 4 to go in stage 2. Jamie Little.
Kurt Busch, the 2011 winner here. Car has been pretty decent. 4-tire stop here. They made a lot of adjustments this weekend. You see him do the tear off there. They have a little extra work this weekend with that windshield wiper. The second can of fuel goes in. And an air pressure adjustment is all they did. Oh, there's a chassis adjustment last minute, Regan.
Eric Jones with the 20 car in his pit box on the right side of your screen. That race car has been tight so far during this race. That's his biggest complaint. 4 tires for him.
But more pit boards being hung out.
Whoa! Almost
baby.
contact here.
Older.
I swear this is going to push his way in there to get to the inside of the 2-car Keselowski.
Great aggressive move by Suarez.
Let's see what happens here.
But now he's on the wrong side of the track for turn 7.
Yeah, maybe.
He is and he is. I mean, he's in a perfect zone for the braking, but just not the cornering. Keselowski totally takes advantage of that. You know, I questioned earlier when DiBenedetto was one of the first ones on pit road, but he's in 5th. It's working out, and I think those guys noticed, and that's why the 1-car Kurt Busch and the 20 of Eric Jones decided to come a little early.
So, Larry, we're getting down to it. 4 laps to go in stage 2.
Well, when they complete this time, Mike, it'll be 3 laps to go. So I anticipate that we may see some drivers on back in the field that's well behind the leader come to pit road now. But I definitely think next time you'll see Truex, Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, and others. Matt, I think Blaney's in now.
Blaney's on his way. Hamlin's guys are on the wall. Blaney's in the car just much tighter when he's trying to turn to the left than to the right. The previous stop, they made an air pressure adjustment to try to fix that, not making as much ground as they would like. Regan.
Well, Matt DiBenedetto with a nice run to the 5th place position right now. Their plan all along was to race for the finish of the race and not for points. We see a little trouble on the right front tire there. His race car is too tight, free rolling right now. He wants a small adjustment for that.
Alex Bowman away. David Reagan is in. Here's Clint Boyer in. Jimmy Johnson, Austin Dillon making stops, and Kevin Harvick. So that leaves out on the racetrack that have not stopped the first 12 cars. First 14 now have not yet stopped in stage 2.
Mike, what makes? Well, let's see what's here. Leader is what's he getting ready to come down?
Gotta believe he's, yeah, I gotta believe he's coming this time, right, Larry?
No question. You have to pit before the stage ends, I believe, if you want to win this race.
This time here.
Now what this will do, because the lights don't go on to close pit road with 2 to go until the leader crosses the start-finish line. This may open up a bigger window for other drivers to pit. Matt.
The 11 and Denny Hamlin, they're making the call to stay out since so many other cars have already pitted. Their teammate, the 19, into their box. The best part of this car on this racetrack is rolling down through turn 11. Everyone is comparing themselves to the 19 in that section of the racetrack, Jamie.
Elliott in the 9 made an air pressure and track bar adjustment. He said the car is better, but he just doesn't know. Still not feeling exactly what he needs to feel like he has a winning car.
Denny Hamlin stayed on track, and he was the driver that came across start finish and tripped the pits are closed light with 2 to go.
You know, Mike, a lot of times when your car's not right, you have to rely on your pit crew to make up time in the pits. You have to rely on your driver to do something exceptional on the racetrack. It's a sum of all the parts that makes you a winner.
Well, Denny Hamlin is all about these stage points, and I'm just curious if they're thinking that maybe there's going to be some more cautions later in this race where they can make up this lost track position they're going to
Remember, they have wins. They're in the playoffs. Hamlin finished second to Byron in stage 1, and it looks like he's going to win stage 2. Third place, Ricky Stenhouse trying to hold off William Byron and Joey Logano.
A little bit surprised. I thought, you know, after all that track position loss, here's that great paddle. See, William Byron goes to the inside, and here comes Logano. Is going to push the issue on Stenhouse also. Lost 2 positions, Stenhouse did. But I was a little surprised. I thought that some of these guys that lost so much track position, I thought they'd switch up their strategy as we close out stage 2.
Now that group is 5.5 seconds back of Denny Hamlin, with Brad Keselowski splitting them in second.
Here's a guy in the 11 car says, I'm going to win the stage. I don't care what we do, we're going to win the stage anyway.
Well, remember what comes along with the stage win? Playoff point.
You just have to look at everything, Mike. You can't look at a win, you can't look at stage points, you got to look at the whole picture.
So Hamlin out front by 3. William Byron, yes, some cars pitted in front of him, but he is up to 3rd in this second stage, piling up the points. Logano, Stenhouse, and Kyle Larson making a nice rebound. He's up to 6th. Then Truex, who pitted, as did Chase Elliott. Then Bubba Wallace, who did not pit, surrenders 10th place to Kyle Busch.
Mike, it's just amazing right here. This to me is the fun part of the racetrack where we were getting ready to watch Kyle Busch go up the hill and then pop out of nowhere, and there's the carousel.
Daniel Hemrick was in the K&N race yesterday.
Nothing like being a rookie here at Sonoma. This is such a tough racetrack, especially with the carousel being added.
Well, that's why Hemrick and Ryan Preece and Austin Dillon all ran the K&N race yesterday. Preece was first at the checkered flag, but in a very controversial call, NASCAR judged that he had jumped the final restart. Noah Gragson got the win. Around turn 11 and to the start-finish line, Denny Hamlin's going to get his second stage win of 2019. By about 3 seconds in front of Brad Keselowski, William Byron, Joey Logano, and Ricky Stenhouse. Denny Hamlin, Daytona 500 champ and your Stage 2 winner in Sonoma. After dominating group play at the Women's World Cup, the U.S. faced Spain in the round of 16. Catch coverage beginning tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern on FS1 or watch it live on the Fox Sports app. Denny Hamlin, your race leader, top of our Toyota top performers list. Have a look at Denny Hamlin's road course career. His first 20 starts, unspectacular, but boy, in the last 7 races, he has picked it up. What is it about road racing?
Yeah, it's just something about you come to a track like this and it seems so foreign. If you don't have a lot of road racing background coming into the Cup Series, it's so hard to make one of these heavy, very powerful race cars grip to this racetrack and find your groove. But, you know, a great driver like Denny Hamlin, it's only a matter of time. They love the challenge, and that's certainly what Denny Hamlin, how his career has gone on road courses.
You listened in on his radio.
Well, as you might imagine, the good news is we got a playoff point, 19 stage points. The bad news is we're going to restart around 20th, give or take. But true to the salute, we're going to send DW off here. You were the show that stage. You'll be the show the last one too. You good with that? Yes.
I love it. Him talking about you during the race.
That's funny. Well, I know I've had it both ways.
You know, not only is this the only sport where you can talk to the athletes during play, they talk back to you.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he was the show. I don't know what it's going to. I don't know if he's going to be a part of this show, but he was.
No, you're the show today.
Oh, yeah.
You're the show.
Those guys out there are the show. I'm standing on the sideline waving at them.
All right, so we know there are a large group of drivers that are going to have to pit this time.
About 15 of them, Mike, which means about 20 of them are going to stay out.
Wow. There was only one car a lap down. That was J.J. Yaley. He got back on the lead lap. Matt Tifft is now 1 lap down. Matt Yoakum.
On the previous restart, Denny Hamlin started 16th. He'll probably roll off about 20th. He says the car turns consistently better. They have fixed the turn and the forward bite about 60 to 70% on both issues from the previous run. Jamie.
And Brad Keselowski has some damage to the nose. They have a patch they're going to put on there. He got together with the 11. Said the right-handers are worse. A 4-tire stop, Regan.
William Byron on the right side of your screen didn't have as much front grip that run because of the traffic. No adjustment though for that. They want to get back out front eventually. The 22 of Joey Logano. They want to look over some damage potentially on that car from the curbs.
William Byron's crew tried to pull a piece of tape from the grill. Not quite sure if they got it while he sped away.
Didn't look like it.
Close, very close. I think he got it stuck on there. I don't know if he got it over the hole or not.
You can see that orange tape. It's got a loop there. That's what it's almost like it pulled out of the tape. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then he went for the second piece that was there. And now I'm not sure if that's in the brake ducts or in the radiator opening.
What do you say we check in with Denny Hamlin?
Oh, there's a little damage on Ryan Preece's car.
Yeah, that doesn't look well.
Okay, there's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage
on the rookie's car.
Let's talk to Denny. Hey, Denny Hamlin, it's DW and the boys. You got me?
What's up, DW?
Well, at the end of that stage, brother, you were. How's that going to work out, big picture here with you know, the final stage coming up? I think Gabe Hart might have nailed it, but what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we should have passed everyone got to that last stage, even though we started 16. So had a few cars pit there that we thought were going to pit. It kind of worked out in our favor to where he got the playoff point. Now 19 stage points on the day, so you know, as long as nothing catastrophic happens, we're going to have a great point today, and we're going to go up here and battle for the win here shortly.
All right, my friend. Well, you got a great race car. I'm pretty sure you can get back up through there, but you might want to be careful and keep the fenders where they are. So good luck, man.
Good advice. I'll take it.
Caution-free race so far, but plenty of contact to talk about. The only cautions have been for the stage breaks. Stage 2 to Denny Hamlin.
All around People looking half dead, walking on the sidewalk harder than a match head. But at night it's a different world. Go out and find a girl. Come on and dance all night. Despite the heat, it'll be all right.
When I wave the green flag, I want to hear boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. You with me? You with me? All right. Give me that green flag, starter. Boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing. Let's go all-star racing, boys. Let's go racing, you bunch of hot dogs. Let's go racing, boys, and Danica. Let's go short track racing, boys. Let's go racing, California style, Vegas style, boys. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Nobody in this sport has had more fun than Darrell Waltrip.
Do you remember the first time we ever did that? It was what,
Where did that come
I think
from?
it was Darlington. It just came out of nowhere.
We were debating this the other day, whether you started Daytona in 2001 with Boogity Boogie Boogie, or did it come that season, though?
It was that. It may have been, but it wasn't Daytona, I know.
Reason William Byron couldn't get that piece of tape pulled, he was busy having the Xfinity fastest pit stop on that round. 4/10 quicker than Joey Logano. So stage 3, 50 laps. Here we come to the Geico restart zone to get this party restarted.
Remember that last time when we got a restart, Chase Elliott was leader, shows the inside, which is now the outside. I think Truex learned quite a bit from that.
You know what Truex did? He slid that 9 up the hill a little bit, but I don't think the 9 liked that so much.
Going on Blaney now. Look at him coming to the outside, going into second.
No, Blaney's a pretty good little road race. Remember, he won the Roval.
And look at DiBenedetto right up there in 6th place.
Oh, you see DiBenedetto going wide there. Oh, Blaney's going to go to the inside of the 19. Did they make contact?
Hey, that Blaney's got a fast car right here, boys.
He's aggressive.
Uh-oh, this could get ugly.
I do think this is...
This could get ugly.
Chase Elliott. I do think this is the one area where the advantage goes to a couple of these guys behind Truex, even though they're running side by side right now. It takes a couple laps for Truex's tires to come in for him to have that long run speed.
Now this will work in Blaney's favor. He has the inside. That's the preferred line. And going to the S's, there he goes.
Yeah, you get a lot of momentum on that outside, like we saw Chase Elliott there in the 9, but the other car just sits a short distance, and he gets there before you do. Pretty impressed. I'm just impressed with that 12 car, because all of a sudden he showed up here and he's got a car that's as fast about anybody out there.
Yeah, some great strategy play by Jeremy Bolins, that crew chief for Ryan Blaney. They came in a lap earlier than these other leaders, and that really paid off for them.
He left the door open, and here comes Chase.
Forward biting that 12 car, got off turn 11 there, really nice.
Chase has position on him here now. If he could just get up this hill, he'll have the preferred lane into turn 2, and there he goes.
I think that guy right there in that 18 car, he's the one they better watch out for.
I agree. I think the 18 at the end of that run, that last run, he was the fastest race car. If he can get up there to his teammate Mart Truex Jr., he's got something for him.
You didn't want to be side by side coming up and over the hill at 3A, but here is Suarez.
Daniel Suarez. Shows
41
the
at my
nose
2.
to the 18.
I'll be darned, he made it. I didn't see that happen.
We've seen how much trouble drivers have had this weekend breaking into that downhill right-hander turn 4.
Remember that 41 car was he's starting to back.
Yes, he did.
So they've done some really nice job. Good strategy. Worked him up here in the top 5.
Yeah, while all those other guys were staying out trying to gain those stage points, they've been able to take advantage of that. And Suarez is a darn good little race, road course racer. A little kiss from the 18 to the 12.
Always love it, Mike, as the race winds down, the intensity picks up. You just feel it. You know, everybody pushes a little harder, bumps a little more.
So
when it does something like this.
The 13 of Ty Dillon had a big moment coming into the S's.
He about had a snoot full of Paul Menard there.
You know, going back to that 18 bumping the 12 of Ryan Blaney, might want to be careful, because if you remember earlier, as William Byron, great move to the inside, the 18 of Busch hit the rear bumper, the 12 going by him earlier, and I don't think Ryan Blaney was too happy about that.
But fellas, let's keep in mind, we're through 2 stages, but we're only halfway through the lap count here. So the strategy in this 50-lap run, I think, may be very different than what we've seen in these 2 opening stages of 20 laps each.
You're probably right, Mike, but I think also track position and when you make that pit stop and see a little shot there with the 18 in the back of the 12, and guess what that does? That opens the door.
I think that was, you want me to go around you or through you? Take your choice.
I'm telling you, Ryan Blaney is not too happy right now, the 18 of Kyle Busch.
Here it is, up and over 3A. Short shoot down to 4.
Whoa, hello.
Yeah. Kyle's going to blame that one on the brakes, I think.
Yeah, he had none. You know what I like about Blaney? You know how he talks low-key, doesn't ever get excited. He gets excited in that race car, I hear to tell you. I think he made Radio Sweetheart a couple times this year.
I think they have a reserved chair for him.
I think they do too.
Kyle Busch up to 3rd place now, Matt.
Just passed along a message. Kyle Busch told his spotter, Tony Hirschman III, tell the 12 that was entirely my fault. I'm an idiot.
Not the first time we heard him say that this week.
Used that word a couple times.
Larry, what's up with Ryan Newman up here in 6th place?
Well, I'm very impressed with the run they've had, because he qualified 21st. And if you think back to the practices on Friday, they were nowhere to be found. But Scott Graves, he's made, I think, perfect strategy with that 6 car. He pitted him both times, 3 laps before the end of the stage, and there he is inside the top 10.
Cars at Sonoma, all of them on the lead lap, racing with 43 to go in wine country. 41 laps to go in Sonoma. Martin Truex Jr. holding everybody off. 1.7 up on Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, and Daniel Suarez. Your top 5 with at least a pit stop to go. Let's take a look at our Credit One Bank ones to watch.
Well, Mike, Daniel Suarez, he qualified 5th, but he had an issue in practice, missed a shift, had to go to the back because of an engine change. He's driven himself all the way back up into the top 5. He might not get the win today. I am so impressed with the job that Daniel Suarez is doing today.
Guys, I'm going with the obvious choice. Martin Truex Jr., our leader right now. He's won this race twice, 2013 and 2018. He's got a car that's really good on the long run. He struggled a little bit on the short runs, but I think the guy drinking the wine out of the crystal goblet when the race is over today will be Martin Truex Jr.
Yeah, Matt DiBenedetto has never finished better than 17th here. He's looking for his first top 10 of 2019. I love the strategy Mike Wheeler's doing it, and besides, I love that paint scheme.
Larry, I've got my eye on the guy that is in 8th place right now, Eric Jones. He started from the rear today because of a flat tire in qualifying, but he's been using Martin Truex Jr. data to study overnight. Looks very good today.
Chase Elliott is the only Chevrolet in the top 9. He has a road course win, no worse than 6th in any of the road course races this year. What are you doing? Keeping up?
No, sorry, Mike. My guy's got 206 trophies. He will have 207 when this day is over with. He's won this race twice. Kyle Busch. Sorry, Mike. I thought you were done.
No, that's you.
Oh, I'm done. That's right.
That's our Credit One Bank ones to watch.
Sorry about that.
Thanks, DW.
I thought you were done.
Well, and that guy you were just talking about,
he's nosing it in there.
About to put the fender or the bumper to the 9 car, yeah. Chase Elliott.
What they used to say about O'Don Biederman up here in Canada.
Yep.
So you got to watch Biederman. He'll put the bumper to you.
Man, did you see how far into that corner the 18 of Kyle Busch drove? So late into the braking zone. Look at the nose.
Are you believing that?
Is that from the 12 car? No, I didn't see him make that much contact.
No, I didn't either.
Wow.
Smashed that M&M. That thing has gotten a lot of damage.
Candy shell right there.
Baby.
Melts on your bumper, not in your hand. 40 to go.
I like it.
He's still got 2.5 seconds to go to catch Martin Truex, though. Truex, like William Byron in the first stage, has been pretty faultless. And it's just pit strategy that's kept him from being in the lead. More than 22 laps. He's led the most laps so far.
That last time by start finish line, the 18 Kyle Busch, about 4/10 faster. Ryan Preece goes around in turn 11.
We had a lot of damage to the right rear. I'm not sure what happened. I don't know if there was some contact or not.
That would have been your car. The 17 got him there.
Oh no, sorry about that. Had to be an accident.
Well, let's show it to you. Coming down here into turn 11 under heavy braking. Stenhouse looks to the inside. Oops. For a hole that was not there.
And you know, it's so hard for these spotters to see that section. I'm not saying that's what happened there, but when a car dives in that late, you got to know that bump. If he's there with his bumper, you got to give him that information. And I just don't know if Ryan Preece knew that Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was making that late move.
Now the spotters here are everywhere. They're with the sheep way up on the hillside here, way up above Turtle's camera position above turn 2. Then you have a group above a building and another above the administration building, coming down from 10 to 11. And basically anywhere they can go, we have spotters.
Where is that? My goodness.
Well, all I can say is that was what a veteran driver would call a lesson, taking Ryan Preece to school. It's just one of those things that Ryan Preece will learn from that situation. I mean, yeah, it was a late move by Ricky Stenhouse Jr., but as a rookie here, you've got...
Oh, spinner, William Byron, or rather, Michael McDowell turned 10. Wow. Byron had just gone by.
And that's the second time we've seen that 34 car around.
I'm afraid so. Maybe the third.
Not a good day for the old 34 car. And you notice everybody's got the same nose. They're all based in.
Michael's just going to come straight to pit road, put 4 fresh tires on that car.
Why not?
Another rhinoplasty. They've all been to the same plastic surgeon.
Yeah, they're not showing him any love. Might as well come to pits.
Oh, he
I saw Byron going into the corner, and he's gone.
Wait, was that a little help from the 22 of Logano there, or did the 34 just get wide? There's some debris that gets put out there from the tire rubber.
Hamlin was close on that one. All these cars, as the day goes on, they all just start looking like this. The notes all bashed in, quarter panels all knocked in. Look at this. 18's got nose damage. About every car you look at has been up under the back of somebody.
Guys, I got to tell you, the 18 car, Kyle Busch, he is mowing down our leader, Mark Truex Jr. Mark Truex Jr. has been a little bit of traffic, but Kyle Busch is laying down some amazing laps right now.
And Denny Hamlin, because of winning that stage, had to restart 23rd. He's only gained 2 spots since. But now there'll be at least one more pit stop to go in this 50-lap third stage. 1.6 seconds and closing. Kyle Busch trying to run down his JGR teammate, Matt.
Mike, the team believes that the 18 got into the 9 of Chase Elliott. That's where that damage came from. Adam Stevens continues to tell Kyle, we have what we have. There's nothing we can do to repair the nose at this juncture. Just ride it out. Now remember, the window opens to hit pit road in about another 4 laps, but most teams would like to split this final stage. We'll see how they roll the dice here with strategy.
Byron and Hemrick.
I don't think that damage on the 18 cars hurt him one bit. He's been the fastest car ever since he made that contact with the 9 Chase Elliott.
He got more front downforce than he had.
His biggest fear is keeping the hood on it.
William Byron has gained 9 positions since the restart. He's flying.
Phenomenal drive by William Byron. I know their strategy went after stage points today, and it's understandable where they're at points, but phenomenal job. He's done everything right today so far.
Yeah, you can't fault the driver. He's had a good day behind the wheel. The car's been pretty solid. Chad's done a pretty nice job in the pits. I know they've wanted those stage points. It's going to turn out well for this team, I believe.
Now, Chad was a crew member for you, Jeff, when we raced on this configuration back in the mid-90s.
Chad's a phenomenal story because he was a fabricator in the 24 shop with Ray Evernham as my crew chief. He changed tires. He's done a lot of different jobs in this sport. He had the desire to be a crew chief, and he went after it, and he achieved it at the highest level.
Mike, he was the tire changer on that one car when I drove for Dale. That's where he started up there. I don't know where he started, but that's where he was the first time I met Chad. And he told me then when he's changing tires, I want to be a crew chief. Wow. And so he's living a dream.
Well, Byron is the highest place to the cars that stopped after stage 2. Our pole sitter, Kyle Larson, also stopped then. He's currently 20th, just ahead of stage 2 winner Denny Hamlin.
You know where his average finish here in the 42 car is?
Right about where he's running?
19, and he's running 20.
.36 laps to go in the Toyota Save Mart 350 on FS1. Let's update the Coca-Cola Racing family. Everybody on the lead lap. Daniel Suarez up in fifth, ahead of Ryan Newman by about 3 seconds there. Joey Logano 17th. Pole sitter Kyle Larson 21st. 34 laps to go. Mart Truex Jr. ahead of Kyle Busch by 2 seconds. Chase Elliott another 4 back. Blaney and Suarez the top 5. But a lot of really good cars, Jamie McMurray, are mired back in the field from William Byron in 15th on back because of the choices they've made on when to pit so far. So now, if you're back there, what are you thinking?
Well, I mean, what I'm saying, if I'm Joey Logano in this position and I know these guys are holding me up in front of me, I'm telling my crew chief, look, if you can short pit me here, I could probably jump all these cars and then hold them off. This track is, the surface is similar to like an Atlanta or Darlington, and we know how important tires are at that track. So if you can short pit here by a lap or two, you should be able to maintain that on the other side.
Well, Larry Max, our crew chief, any objection, or you like that plan?
No, I believe I would. In that window, as Matt Yoakum pointed out, it's going to open in about 2 or 3 laps. Get to where you can make it to the end, which is about 30 to 32 laps to go, and pit. But I do agree with something else that Matt said. I think some crew chiefs, we went back racing with 44 laps to go, is basically split it down the middle. The downside of doing that, if you get a caution between when those other guys pit and you pit, it kills your strategy.
Well, you're looking at the guy right there. I think the best driver crew chief combination in the garage right now is that guy you see on the screen, Cole Pern, and that guy driving that 19 car, Martin Truex Jr. I remember back to Richmond. Joey Logano was wearing the back bumper of that 19 car out, and I thought he's going to flinch. He's going to make a mistake, and Joey's going to get by him. He never, you didn't even see him sweat. And I really like what they do together.
And just to remember now, they're in a little bit of a turned around situation. What was a year or 2 ago, Kevin Harvick was our leader. Mark Truex Jr. was in second, and they got Kevin Harvick to flinch and come in and pit. And they knew they had a fast race car. How's that going to work out now between the 18 being in second and the 19 leading?
Well, here is Harvick. He is 16 seconds back in 9th place, and he's had a sort of invisible weekend. Barely made it onto page 1 of the practice chart, and it seems to have struggled with this car all weekend long.
I'm surprised by that because, I mean, we've seen great speed out of this 4 car this year. I know he hasn't put a win together yet, but I expected this to be a track because Kevin Harvick's just all-around great race car driver, and this is a great team. I expected them to be much more competitive than this.
We did, because today, this race last year was Kevin Harvick's 5th victory of the season. He comes to Sonoma this year, still searching his first.
And Mike, Kevin Harvick is a kind of a changed guy. I mean, he's not upset. I talked to him and Rodney Jones this morning. He was not upset that the car wasn't like he wanted it to be. We're going to get the best finish we can possibly get, and he'll be happy.
Regan?
Guys, they made big adjustments to that race car after the first practice. Felt like it was a little bit better in the second practice, but still not good enough. So they actually went to their teammate Clint Boyer's setup in this race car for today. Clearly, it's not been what he wants. He is still too tight and has been too tight all weekend.
Well, Harvick came in here last year with 5 victories in the bank. This year, Stewart Haas Racing, no wins this year, 7 wins at this point a year ago.
Isn't that funny how it goes? I mean, Jeff knows this. We've all experienced it. One year you can't lose. The next year you don't change anything. Everything stays the same, and you can't win. Well, and you never can figure out why.
And nobody knows that better than this guy right here, wearing our Fox visor camera, Jimmy Johnson. He won the championship in 2016, and things have kind of gone ice cold over the last year and a half.
And you really don't know why. You're working hard. You got a good team. You got a good car. The wins just don't come.
You hear how late he was back to the gas there at turn 5, waiting for the car to turn.
Yeah, I just think that's the thing I've noticed all day about him. He can't hustle the car. He's got a pace that he can run, and that's what he does. He just can't hustle it.
Did you see how much wheel input he had right there coming through turn 7? You could physically see that left front tire at a pretty abrupt angle trying to get the front to cut.
Pretty good job they've done of getting him in that position though right now. Running 3rd, that's pretty cool. 4th.
32 laps to go. Martin Truex out front. Martin Truex through turn 4, your race leader by 2.6 seconds. Paul Menard has already made his pit stop. Regan.
William Byron came on the radio about 2 laps ago and said, my tires are gone. Chad Canal said, give me 2 more laps, and then hit pit road. That race car is just a little bit too tight. They're going to take 4 tires and try to get to the end of the race.
There's Stenhouse in as well on the left of your screen.
Mike, you know, it takes a lot of discipline for a young man like William Byron, sat on a pole or sat outside pole, led this race, has been patient with everything he's done all day long, even as he made his pit stop.
Look how clean that car is.
And the car's spotless.
Because he's been back in traffic.
But you know what that also tells me about him, and I know this is a fact, he's well prepared. He came in here well prepared to run this race, and it shows.
Look how low Truex can exit off of turn 11, and how that car doesn't look like it even skips a beat or skips a wheel.
That's where he's so good.
Chase Elliott headed for pit road.
Not
an issue on the 9.
Low oil pressure, quit running.
Low oil pressure, did he say?
That's what I thought I heard too.
Jamie?
Yes, that's exactly what you heard. No oil pressure. He thinks he's blowing up out of nowhere. Was running well. 3 laps led today. They're going to take a look at it, change the tires here. Definitely a lot of smoke coming out of this car in his pit box.
You can see he rolled in there almost with no power.
Joey Logano's in. Regan.
Well, Joey Logano makes it to his pit box. We documented the battery issues with that race car. This last run, the brakes got a little bit soft in traffic. As soon as he got some clean air, though, they came back. That shouldn't be a problem for the rest of this race for him.
With the 9 car, Mike, we're probably looking to see if the oil belt happened to come off. I don't think that's the problem. These engines take a beating on this kind of racetrack where you're up through the gears, shifting up, downshift, upshift, a lot of RPM.
Larry, we've seen these cars banging and bouncing around. It looks really violent out there. What does this do to the race car?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard on everything about that race car mechanically. It's hard on the drivetrain. You talked about all the shifting. Remember, a lot of that's downshifting. That's hard on transmission, drive shaft, and gear. The way the cars get up in the air and come back down. And it's just hard on everything about that car, every component.
You know, as a driver, I was always amazed that these cars would make it to the end of the race because you beat them up so hard. You aggressively bounce off of these curbs, jam the car into 3rd gear, 2nd gear on the downshifts, and it's amazing how they can hold up for all these races.
As Kyle Busch eats into Martin Truex's lead, their teammate Eric Jones has come to pit road, bringing Kevin Harvick with him. Matt?
And away the car's down, you can see the wrench going in the back window for Clint Boyer, still trying to get some forward bite on that 14 car. Regan.
Eric Jones' race car continues to be a little tight on the racetrack. Spotter Rick Corelli has been giving him advice as to where he can get into the corners better to try and catch the leaders. Jamie?
The Chief Matt McCall, first road course race with Kurt Busch. A lot of adjustments this weekend to figure out what it is he needs. 4 tires there, loosen the carousel. He's a little bit loose, a little bit tight all over.
Kyle Larson, Matt DiBenedetto, Jimmy Johnson getting finished up. And back on track, Daniel Hemrick, rookie contender in.
And Mike, we're right in that window Larry was talking about. We got 28 laps to go. Kind of splitting this stage in half, more or less, and trying to make it to the end.
I'm so curious to see how these two are going to race one another. Our leader, Mark Truex Jr., 2nd place, Kyle Busch. These guys are kind of going for NASCAR 2019 royalty and dominance of this season so far with the wins.
Here is the comparison this year between these 2 teammates who have become rivals.
Well, Mike, I always think about Martin Truex. You're out there in Denver, and he and Cole Pern, and they are running the same thing that Kyle Busch run. They're Gibbs cars, basically. I got to think that they said, look, we can't beat him. Let's bring him in-house. That way we can find out what they're doing. Well, guess what? They brought him in-house. They're still beating him.
The difference is Truex has led 35 laps today. Kyle Busch has yet to lead. So, Larry, What are you telling Kyle Busch about this pit window?
There is no question. If I'm Adam Stevens, I'm saying no matter where that 19 car goes, you go with him, which means come down pit road. And he pits. He's got a big enough gap behind him. He can react to that.
Let's ride with Kyle Busch a bit here.
And this might be a little bit of a disadvantage of them being teammates because there's probably some communication going on between all four of those Gibbs teams of who's going to pit and win.
And this ahead of Truex going to 7th.
And this is when you really make your teammate mad, when they think you're going to do one thing because that's kind of what you're saying, and you do something else. That happened here.
You heard how long Kyle Busch had to wait to get back into the throttle. Had to wait for that car to turn on worn tires.
Yeah, that's just the tires are worn out. Time to pit.
Pit entrance coming out of turn 10 will be on the left. It's Corey LaJoie behind Truex. Here he goes. Hoping this is the final stop of the day, but Larry, Kyle Busch stayed out.
I don't understand it. If a caution comes out right now, Kyle Busch is toast. I would have followed that 19 car down.
Remember, this is what they did with the 4 car.
Matt?
And Kyle Busch had closed a half second on that 19 car. Right side's going on, no chassis adjustments. Clay Robinson and Devin Bucher going on the lugs on the left side, a little bit slower on the left. Lugs are on, he's away. Solid stop.
We're hearing Kyle Busch is having radio issues and cannot hear his team.
I'd say
Well,
that
then even
must
more
be
so,
true.
I think I would have followed the 19 down pit road.
I'd say that's true, but I don't think there's any reason for him not to follow 19 down pit road, whether you could hear or not.
Well, unfortunate for that 9 team and Chase Elliott having a solid day.
Oh, Daniel Suarez, uncontrolled tire on his pit stop, and what a great day he has been having. Have a look at the right rear on Suarez stop.
He rolls it. Oh, yeah, see, he rolls it back. That guy goes in to place the tire and just gets away from him.
Yeah.
So much coordination. Everything has to happen perfectly on these pit stops.
There were just too many tires over there.
So Kyle Busch is our leader. And Matt DiBenedetto's in 2nd place, 16 seconds back.
Matty D has done a whale of a job today, guys. He's been in the top 10 the whole day. Done a nice job in that little 95 car. I'm really proud of him.
You may have to send them a few more buckets of that Omaha orange paint, Carol.
He may want to run that more often.
All right, let's see what we can hear on Kyle Busch's radio.
You guys just start talking? That's right. What do you want to know? I don't want to know nothing. I want to be stupid.
Huh?
He's used that word a lot this weekend.
He's been a frustrated race car driver this weekend.
But you know what I think also, Jeff? He relies on that pit crew, because I got to tell you, most week in and week out, that's the best crew on pit road.
Well, I just got to believe that they're thinking, let's do the opposite of whatever this 19 does. That's the only way we're going to beat them. Regan, you got the 95?
Well, 95, Matt DiBenedetto, his best run since Bristol earlier this year, hands down in the top 10 all day long so far. Very good on the long runs. He just wants to be freed up slightly more than what they did on the previous pit stop. They did say if it's the paint scheme making him fast this weekend, Darrell, you might see him show up with that in Chicago again next weekend.
Run that baby.
All right, so to clear up the Kyle Busch situation, the radios are fine. The team was just letting him do his thing, and they weren't talking to him.
That seemed to make him angry.
There was not a problem with communication. There just wasn't any.
We're talking, yeah.
Now, Denny Hamlin, who pitted after the end of stage 2, Kyle pitted with 2 laps to go. Hamlin has cycled up to 2nd place due to stops, but he's 26 seconds back, with Truex now 32 back after a stop. He's still not
18
coming.
stayed out that time. I thought he was going to come. I'm not sure that lap car wasn't in his way.
Yeah, but I'll bet Larry knows.
Yeah, I think he'll come this time. Remember, we went back racing with 46 laps to go. The next lap will be lap 23 on those tires. That's splitting the stage, taking full advantage of fresh tires.
Yeah, he's hoping that those fresher tires at the end of this run, if it goes green, and even if a caution comes out, could be an advantage to him. Oh, he gets wide. I think he has a problem. He had a flat tire?
No, he was getting a drink of water. He was getting a drink of water and he threw the bottle out.
Well, he didn't want a caution to come out by throwing that bottle.
If you won't talk to me, I'm just going to get a drink of water and ride.
I saw him go wide on turn 2. I thought
he goes way out to the edge of the racetrack. And
that's a bag of ice.
It's a bag of ice, and he had stuff down his uniform. Yeah.
That won't be ice for long.
And that's his favorite turn. You know, he likes to mess around in that turn anyway.
Went off there a couple times in practice, trying to find where the limit was. Entering turn 4.
He's not having any trouble seeing over his nose right now. I can tell you that because it's stuff down in there past the radiator.
Here's Martin Truex, 30 seconds back, and of course he's already made what he hopes will be his final pit stop. So has Blaney in 5th, Harvick, Newman, Johnson, Bowman, and Byron, the whole rest of the top 10. Keselowski has to stop, so does Hamlin, and of course our race leader, Kyle Busch. Last year, this final stage went caution-free. We have not had a caution flag all day, except for the ending of stage 1 and 2.
There he comes.
Here he comes. Yeah, Truex is 2 seconds a lap faster that last time by.
No more calls, please. We have a winner. At least for this part of the race. And the 18 crew is up on the wall and ready. Here's Kyle Busch.
Kyle Busch says the car tight, no chassis adjustment though. He said the last changes really haven't helped this 18 car. He was hoping for a bag of ice and also some water on this stop. You saw him chuck it out the window there right before he came in.
Hamlin in. Now, when I said no more calls, we have a winner, I didn't mean the race, so keep those cards in line.
You can see right here just how far behind Kyle Busch is going to be once he gets off the end of pit road here.
He's entering 1, and Truex is already headed for turn 3.
But now it's just about managing the speed of those tires, and for both drivers, because Truex, you know, he's got to be sure he doesn't use up too much of those tires. He's got a big gap. The 18, he's got to be in a position of just attack and go get after it and try to close that gap.
All right, so there's your leader, Martin Truex. Let's wait for Kyle Busch and give you an idea of what 8 seconds looks like.
Remember, before they pitted, it's only about, what, 1.5, 1.6 seconds between the two of them, if that.
23 laps to go in wine country, California. Martin Truex back out front. We're at a monster of a road course, Sonoma Raceway, the toughest and maybe the greatest natural terrain road course in America. Lots of up and down, especially with the carousel section added. Look at the whip around here.
Mike, this place will wear you out. With no cautions, I mean, just for those stage breaks, this is a hard race, man. Physically demanding.
Well, Kyle Busch now 7.5 back, running equal lap time to Martin Truex. You can watch them both at work here.
Both looking pretty comfortable with the way their car is handling. See fairly similar driving styles, but I think Mart Truex Jr. is having to conserve those tires just a little bit more than the 18 of Kyle Busch right now. So I would imagine you'll see Kyle get a little bit aggressive here.
Watch them shift. That tells you a whole lot about whether one who's hustling and who's in a little bit of a conservative mode.
Yeah, a little bit of more wheel movement. If you're moving that wheel around a little bit more aggressively, that tells you how hard you're pushing it.
Yeah.
You can hear right there how deep the 18 drove into that turn 11, because you can almost hear the tires squealing or trying to chirp a little bit as they're trying to slow down because he's so aggressive on the brake pedal.
And then watch the bodies. I mean, you see their head kind of bouncing. This is not a smooth race. There are a lot of bumps and places in this racetrack that really the car will undulate quite a bit. You see that in the driver itself. You see him moving in the seat, see his head bouncing around a little bit.
Kyle Busch gets a wave to slower cars he goes by.
So those are first and second. Here is third and fourth. Kevin Harvick, the first two Fords in the race.
Harvick has done they've done a nice job, Mike, of getting themselves in the position or in the top five or running fourth. I didn't know if they'd ever get that close to the front or not.
It didn't seem like it was that long ago we were saying what a bad weekend they've been having.
And Jimmy Johnson in fifth with 20 to go.
Newman, that's a great day for Ryan Newman. He's done a nice job. Got a little bit of nose damage, but it doesn't seem to hurt anybody that's got the banged in nose. They seem to run better.
We last saw Alex Bowman coming out of the pits after his last stop, 22 seconds back. He's in 7th place. Top 10s in 5 of the last 6 races of this season for Bowman.
And somebody right behind him, Clint Boyer, he's on a mission there. He had a fast race car in practice, hasn't been up to show it here today. He's had some issues, but right now he's putting down some really good laps and coming forward. It's been passing cars.
Look at this 95 go. I want to tell you something, guys. He's driving that thing. That's the best I've seen that car run all year.
Matthew Benedetto just passed Joey Logano to take over 9th place.
He's doing it. Nice job. Happy for him.
Logano in 10th. Byron in 11th after leading 21 laps at the start of this race and winning stage 1.
Yeah, you know, the thing about the 95, Mike, it isn't that they've done it from trick pit strategy or something. He's literally been in our top 5 or 10 the whole race since they dropped the green.
Let's show you that pass that Matt DiBenedetto made on Joey Logano. Turn 7.
Oh wow, he just cuts under. Yeah, just cuts under in turn 7. Gets a nice lead, good forward bite right here, and away he goes.
Boy, Joey Logano backing out. I'm surprised, really. I mean, I thought that, and maybe it was just that little bump that DiBenedetto gave to the rear bumper of the 22 car to say, listen, I'm in a hurry right now. You might want to get out of my way.
I'm better than you are. How about getting out of my way?
Hard at work. Kyle Busch has picked up 2 seconds on Martin Truex since the pit stop and just ran his personal fastest lap of the day. So the gap is 6.5 Truex to Busch as we take you, Fox, side by side with 18 laps to go. This fall starts a new era as Fox becomes the new network home with WWE's SmackDown Live. Catch the action every Friday night, beginning October 4th, only on Fox. We got a SmackDown coming here in Sonoma with 17 laps to go. When we went to break, 6.5 seconds was Martin Truex's lead. It is now 3.7 seconds as here comes his teammate Kyle Busch. And we give you a Fox NASCAR Thanks DW Rank It Up.
Nothing out back.
Laps to go. Battery issues for Joey Logano. With 15 to go, Ricky Stenhouse's also in. Martin Truex's lead has been cut down to 2.7 seconds by Kyle Busch. Matt?
Mike, shortly after that pit stop, Adam Stevens told Kyle Busch there were 3-lap fresher tires. They think, looking at the numbers, that they would reach the 19 car with about 9 or 10 laps to go. About 3 laps ago, Adam Reed did the math and told Kyle that we are way ahead of schedule on catching Truex. Pace yourself.
Well, let's go to Martin Truex's team audio.
Damn, he's killing me. We're mostly off of 7 right now, but he's got the better tires, so hopefully he's using it up. Yeah, I'm not being able to get the power down very good.
Well, catching them and passing is going to be two different things.
But I like what Cole said. You know, hopefully because Kyle is charging.
Oh, he's using it up.
And so Martin, I think, may be saving a little bit. I don't know, maybe a little bit.
Well, Jamie Mack, you ran this race last year. Kyle has those 3 laps fresher tires than Martin. At what point do they become equals?
Well, I was a little skeptical about Adam Stevens' approach there of staying out longer, but as you look at the lap time now, I would way rather be in second with the better tires, and as fast as he's catching him, it'd be interesting to see if it takes him that many laps to pass him. His car just is so good this run. We heard Martin Truex Jr. say that he wasn't able to get the power down like he's been in the past.
How about Matthew Benedetto up to 6th place now?
Just moving on. Ooh, man. Good thing he took a different line into that corner, because he could have been in trouble with them. Ryan Newman breathing down his neck.
Might have been a little contact maybe for that pass that Matthew Benedetto made on Newman.
I think Newman listen, you know, it's a good thing I like you.
Now, just going back to what Jamie McMurray was referring to, I agree. I like being the attacker, but I got to look at the first 3 to 4 laps at this 18 of Kyle Busch. He pushed so hard and made up a lot of time on Martin Truex Jr. I just wonder if that's going to hurt him at the back end as he catches this 19 car.
Well, one thing about the Truex got a good break right there. He got by a couple lap cars that were in that he was going to have to negotiate around. That worked out really well for him. Let's see how it works out for Kyle Busch.
It's Cole Pern upper left, Martin's crew chief, Adam Stevens upper right.
Well, I think we've talked all day long, Mike, about what would be the best place to pass, the safest place. I'm not saying Kyle Busch is going to pick the safest place. But turn 7, certainly we've seen a lot of guys get position, make passes there. And turn 11, if you get a nose under guy into 11, you got him.
I'll tell you where he's going to make the pass, with his front bumper. That's how we've seen Kyle Busch make quite a few passes so far today.
The rivalry between these two goes way back to at least 2004 when Truex beat Busch for the Xfinity Series championship.
Wow. Well, we know, I mean, they've been rivals, even though they've been with the same manufacturer, Toyota. They've been rivals trying to win races, championships together, going at it. Now they're teammates, and now that rivalry has been brought in-house to Joe Gibbs Racing.
Joe Gibbs looking on as one of his other drivers, Denny Hamlin, tries to move on Alex Bowman for 9th place.
Yeah, really, truly, 11 has done an amazing job. Thinking about him coming into pit when he did and coming back out, he was in the 20s, I think. Right now, he's fighting hard here to get into the top 10.
I actually think if Denny Hamlin and Chris Gabehart had done the same strategy as his teammates with Kyle Busch and Mart Truex Jr., he might be up there right in the thick of this battle for the lead.
Yeah, Jeff, he just moved into 9th place. That's a heck of a run for where he was when they came out of the pit earlier.
He has a fast race car, and he's done a great job today.
I'm just going to be anxious to see if Truex is setting on anything, if he's holding back a little bit, or if actually Kyle Busch is that much faster than he is. Because Kyle is continuing to run faster lap times.
Busch faster by half a second that lap. 138.68 to 139.10.
Well, we saw this on the last run. Ooh, a little bit of a moment for the 19 car. You saw the back end step out off of turn 3A. You can tell he's pushing hard. He sees the M&M's Toyota coming and getting closer and closer in that rearview mirror.
Yeah, he doesn't have to ask if that's him or not. That's him.
That's right. And you know, when you start to see that, you start pushing that throttle down a little bit more. You start driving the corner a little bit harder, and all of a sudden, things that weren't bothering you before, the way your car was handling, all of a sudden start to present themselves.
But because the 19 has 3 laps more on his tires, Mike, there could be a point in there when the 18 can't continue to charge like he is, because the tires will become more equal.
Jamie Mack, this scenario look familiar to you?
Yeah, guys, this reminds me of Richmond. You think back to the drive that Martin Truex Jr. had when Joey Logano was behind him and clearly had the better car, and Martin held him off for that entire race, and it's going to be interesting to see if he can hold off the talent of Kyle Busch at the end of this one.
And Jamie, I got to say, I think that experience that Martin Truex Jr. went through to hold off that charging Joey Logano paid off in far more ways than just that win. I think it could make the difference here today and maybe even in the championship later in the year.
Yeah, well, when you run the road course, we got 11 turns here. So you got 11 chances to screw up. So you're really going to have to focus hard and concentrate, because all you got to do is screw up one of those 11 turns and the 18's got you.
Parker Kligerman moves aside for that battle, and DiBenedetto is still coming. He's trying to break his way into the top 5, and to do it, he'll have to pass Jimmy Johnson.
He was a great car in practice, and it got all of our attention, and he ended up with a good lap time. When it went to qualifying, didn't go so well, and I was a little bit worried. Boy, he's delivered here today in the race.
And remember who his crew chief is, Mike. That's Mike Wheeler. He was with Denny Hamlin, so he knows that's a good crew chief. Matt's a great driver, and they got a pretty decent race car today, and they're capitalizing.
And about 3 lap fresher tires than Jimmy Johnson, who looks like Matt might go by right here at turn 4.
I think that's another one of those situations where you're better than I am. I'm going to fool around here, and you're going to spin us both out. I need to give you a little room, let you go.
And DiBenedetto right now is one position ahead of his best career finish, which came at Bristol in 2016.
And Jimmy Johnson right now is coming off the carousel going, is that Matt DiBenedetto? That's impressive run.
It really is. I'm happy for him. It's a good day for him.
Going to turn 11, looking back for Martin Truex at a closing Kyle Busch.
It'll be interesting as these laps wind down here with 10 to go. Now, I think I know how Kyle Busch is. He now sees Martin Truex. He knows he's there, and he's going to come after him.
Well, Larry, for the last time this season, and you've been spot on for us all year, 10 to go. What are the trends of the race?
Well, even though the configuration is different, I think the mindset will be the same. And I've looked at the last 10 Sonoma races. The average of the last caution has been with 6 laps to go, 5 times in the final 10 laps, twice in overtime. My experience, when you tell these drivers 10 to go at a road course, the wires start sparking and they start losing their minds.
That is exactly what happened yesterday in the K&N Series race. There was carnage everywhere.
I hate it when the wires start sparking.
Restart after restart after overtime after overtime.
Hold that one and see if it's firing or not.
Here, hold this.
Yeah, right.
Kurt Busch ahead of William Byron, and here comes his teammate Kyle Larson. As 3 Chevys battle for 13th.
Yeah, Chad Knaus, decided on this one to come in quite a bit earlier than most of the other drivers did, and that coming in early and those tires starting to really fall off is hurting them a lot these closing 10 laps.
Like those lap times now are starting to equal out a little bit. Last time by it was only about 2.5, 3/10 difference from Kyle back to Martin Truex back to Kyle. See what it is this time by.
You know what I've noticed, DW, is even though Kyle's closing in on Truex, Truex is really good in all the places he needs to be.
I agree.
And that's driving off those slow corners because it just gaps enough to where the 18 of Kyle Busch can't get into that area of a braking zone to make the pass.
Right there, that time by, Mike, with 9 to go, Truex ran a 39.12. And Kyle Busch ran a 39.40. That's 3/10. That's huge at this point of the race.
Well, here's the important number right here on our chart. That's the dynamic interval, currently just below 2 seconds. And you see it as it happens, where it shrinks coming into the corner, and then Truex gets the drive off the corner and increases that number.
And look ahead here of the 19 car, Martin Truex. You see a couple of cars up here. He's going to have to negotiate to get around. Depending on where he catches those cars, could have a big factor in whether Kyle Busch gets there or not. I believe the cars are pretty equal.
Corner entry at 7. Kyle had it down to 1.5, and then Truex got the big run off the corner, as Jeff said.
Exactly. I think Truex is driving it a little bit easier, trying not to make any mistakes under braking on the downshifts. Kyle Busch, not at all. He's being aggressive and attacking that entry in the corner.
Right on that. He's got her on the edge. No question about it.
Boy, look how much he gained on Martin Truex Jr. in the braking zone in turn 11.
But I think he gets in. Truex gets in a little easier, but he accelerates off so much better.
Well, Adam Stevens' calculator must be smoking because didn't he tell Kyle Busch you should catch him with about 9 to go? Wasn't that what they had figured out?
Well, that was until Kyle Busch put 3 of his fastest laps of the entire race together.
Right.
But you notice he did talk to him, unlike earlier. I think it's just a dogfight right here. I think it's nip and tuck. I think the cars are pretty equal. Traffic could make a slight difference. We'll see how that works out. It's going to be hard.
Especially if you catch somebody right after turn 7. If you don't get by them going into turn 7, you've got to follow that slower car and wind all the way down the hill through the S's, all the way until you get to turn 11, basically.
Well, Joe Gibbs Racing has been class of the field all year. Their Toyotas lead in wins. Team Penske has won for Ford, and Chase Elliott 1 win for Chevrolet, but it's been a JGR year so far.
And how about Denny Hamlin? This he's driving. He's on. He was way back when they made their last pit stop. He's getting ready to go by Jimmy Johnson for 6th position.
And all 4 Gibbs cars, Mike, in the top 10 right now. Eric Jones running 10.
And a great rebound for Jones after having a tire cut down during qualifying, and he had to start this race way back.
And let's not forget the alliance with Matt DiBenedetto and that 95 team and that Toyota.
No kidding. And DiBenedetto running. He's running 5th. That's an incredible run for that team.
Only Chevrolet right now in the top 11 is Jimmy Johnson.
That's a good job. You know, Jimmy's running 7th, and that's a heck of a good finish for him. The car's not been that great today, I don't think, but he's got a good finish.
Chase Elliott led 3 laps for Hendrick and Chevy earlier, but for the 2nd time in his career out of the race with engine failure.
And Ryan Newman, I mean, he's running 9th. 14 been in trouble all day long. He's in the top 10.
Now, last lap going into turn 11, Kyle Busch had it all closed down. And here's Martin again, piling it back up under acceleration. I'm thinking back to Tony Stewart and Denny Hamlin and a final lap shootout and the lead exchanging hands a couple of times on the last lap.
Well, who can wheel hop better than the other?
That's right.
Yeah, I remember that day very well.
Yes. I don't think Denny will ever let you forget it.
No. He was not happy with me particularly.
Here's that area where Kyle Busch closes in. Little wheel hop.
That didn't sound too good. It wasn't very smooth, but it's effective.
Remember the Roval. Who was in position to capitalize if the 2 leaders came together on the final lap?
Our guy in 3rd position.
Brian Blaney, and he got that win. He's sitting in the same spot right now.
Well, I tell you, but that gap between the leaders right now, the 18 and the 19, 18 is staying pretty consistent. It looks to me like.
I don't know, Brian Blaney has gotten enough credit for this run that he's on here today because, I mean, it's just been really solid, nice and smooth laps, saving those tires, doing everything right as it comes to
this lap traffic
strategy to play out.
This could be trouble right here because Truex is going to catch these guys in the wrong spot.
Now that time at turn 11, Kyle Busch had the gap down to 1.06 seconds.
Yeah, but look at her lap times. Mike.
Oh no, side by side.
They're going to get side by side.
Leaders.
That's the last thing Mark Truex Jr. wants to see.
This could be bad news for Martin.
Oh yeah, this is going to hurt him a lot right here through 3. And now go to the top of the hill at 3A. Watch that 18 really close in. There he is.
But you know, it's Ty Dillon and Kyle Busch got to get around these guys too.
Yeah, Kyle, what he needs to do is get by him going into the carousel, make kind of a late break here.
Not going to happen.
No. If the 13 gives him room perfect, that actually helped Kyle Busch.
That wasn't a bad move on the 13. He got out of the way. Now Martin's got to negotiate with that with the 34
Michael
up there.
McDowell, yes.
And he's going to catch him right at turn 7.
And remember what I mentioned, if you don't get by this car coming into those S's, now you're behind him all the way to turn 11.
And McDowell may fight to stay on the lead lap. We'll see here.
No, he's got to race.
That's his job.
It's his job is to.
Well, you know what? I would like for him to run as hard as he can so that he won't hold me up. And then I can get him down there in turn 11. But this is getting interesting, guys. Coming to 5 to go.
This could be a cluster buster down here at turn 11. All right, McDowell stays wide.
Now the question is, will he let our 2nd place runner Kyle Busch get by? Oh, it's going to be so important for Kyle to make a clean pass on the 34.
Well, this is going to help Martin a bunch right here.
Yeah, that was perfect timing for him.
Look at that gap. Look at that gap how it opened up. Just that one. That's 19 car been so good in turn 11 all day long.
5 laps to go.
Kyle's got to get by him right here. There he goes.
Yeah, Martin, the 34 car slowed up a little bit and let him get by. He knew that too. McDowell, that was a good job on McDowell's part to kind of ease up out of the way.
I really think right now it's all about Truex doing exactly. Ooh, you see Kyle Busch got in a little bit too deep in that downhill run in turn 4, almost locked up the brakes. But I think this is where that experience at Richmond that Jamie McMurray talked about from Mark Truex Jr. is kind of playing. If he just runs his line and is smooth, doesn't make mistakes, going to make it very difficult for Kyle Busch to make this pass.
I just like the way Martin Truex. I'm sorry I have to say this. He's sitting on a hot stove right now, but he's peeing ice water and doing a darn good job of it.
Of course you had to say it. It's our last one, buddy.
What are they going to do, fire me? Look at that gap. I mean, that's huge over what it was just a lap ago.
1.6.
And I think the tires, they kind of start to balance out too. Martin Truex is 3 laps older, but I think at this point, it doesn't really matter now.
Larry, should it make a difference with 5 to go?
I don't think it does. I think it's pretty much evened out now. I think it's just who catches the brakes with lap traffic, as we saw with McDowell, and then who just hits their marks.
Yeah, right now, I mean, I think that gap is pretty big, and that time by Truex had a faster lap.
Hey, how about DiBenedetto? He's not done. Here he comes into turn 10, inside Kevin Harvick, looking inside.
Oh, he's going to make it
headed for 11.
He got it.
4th place.
You know, when a car like Matt DiBenedetto has right now in the drive that he's on, when you run a guy down from that far back, you pretty much say, yeah, man, good job.
That's right. Have at it. Very nice job, my man, today. All day long. I mean, I love the way he's run all day long.
Mike Wheeler, the crew chief, you saw there briefly, and he was 8 seconds behind Harvick and ran him down. Now he's about 8 seconds behind Ryan Blaney for 3rd with 4 to go.
Well, of course, they're kind of funny. The 18 looks like he catches him because the 19's in the corner. Here comes the 18. It looks like he catches him, but then when they accelerate off, it bounces back out. I think Cole Pern nailed it. We got to hope that Kyle Busch is using this stuff up trying to catch us, but I think he has.
But I'm with you, DW. There's 11 places to make mistakes around this place.
Yeah, there is. And you're counting every one of them.
And Denny Hamlin moves up into the top 5. He's passed Kevin Harvick. They're the leaders with 3 to go.
Pretty good day for Joe Gibbs. Pretty good day for Toyota. Nice run by all these guys today.
What an incredible season they have had so far.
Well, if you look at the Hamlin, who's 5th now, you got DiBenedetto. He's in a sort of a Gibbs car. And the 2 leaders right now, that's a pretty good day for Gibbs and for Toyota. But also, I got to give a tip of the hat to Kevin Harvick too, Mike. I did not think he had a car capable of running in the top 5 today, and there he is in 5th place.
No, I think we've pretty much written him off earlier in the weekend.
I thought his car was just not that good, but they have worked on that thing and made it pretty decent here at the end of the day.
Quite a battle going on right here. It looks like Jimmy Johnson's car's starting to fall off a little bit. And those SHR cars that we saw were so strong in practice, now they're finally
showing up.
Coming to life and showing up here late in this race.
3-car battle for 9th place. Yeah, the furrows in Kevin Harvick's brow yesterday when he was sitting on the pit wall said 20th place.
Yeah, I saw him this morning. I told you, and he said we just don't have it today, DW. You know, we're just going to take what we can get. That's pretty good at taking what you can get, I got to say.
Yes, it is. And pole sitter Kyle Larson's made it up back up into the top dozen.
That will help his average finish here
quite a bit. Byron started outside pole. He's back at 17th.
Yeah, I think their strategy bit them. I think they obviously won that first stage, but it's kind of all downhill from there. But William, again, he's just done an amazing job on this racetrack from the start to the finish.
2 to go. Lap car just ahead of our leader again coming up the hill to turn 2.
Yeah, Bubba Wallace.
Don't they look so slow right there? They look like they're barely going. Guess what?
Well, you saw how steep that hill was coming up
there. But they are just barely going there. They're both just trying to they want to get the gas down as much as you can without busting the tires loose. Oh, Bubba. Bubba got off.
Our leader, as he sees Bubba Wallace go out and throw all that dust on the track. Kyle Busch gets through clean.
Yeah, that dust, just that dust alone, it makes you hesitant. You see that dust flying up, what's going to happen next? Fortunately for Bubba, nothing happened, but you never know for sure.
Just got in there a little bit too hot, got wide.
Trying to get offline, give Truex the racing line. Then he moves to the right and gives Kyle Busch the racing line going into the carousel.
And because of that, this is the closest that Kyle Busch has been to Mart Truex Jr.
Well, coming down through the S's here to turn 10.
I think what Kyle Busch wants to do, he needs to get just a little bit closer to put enough pressure on Mart Truex Jr. You can see how hard Kyle Busch is pushing it, because it's exactly what he wants to do, and hope that that 19 car makes a mistake.
Guess what? He's only
One more. You beat him again.
About 11 turns. That's all I got to worry about now.
White flag in the wind. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. 5 times in NASCAR history, the final pass of the race has been Kyle Busch passing Martin Truex for the win.
And one mistake that can happen is coming up right here. This is turn 3, the left-hander going to a right-hand turn 3, downhill into turn 4. You can very easily you'll lose traction breaking into this corner.
I just watched Kyle Busch do those turns 2 and 3, and his car was sideways. I mean, he's pushing hard as he can. He's out of grip. I think he's pretty well had it.
And I think this is why Mart Truex Jr. has been so successful today. His car rotates in the middle of the carousel and launches and drives off of this corner so well that Kyle Busch can't get close enough to him to even outbrake him in turn 7.
Again, I just go back to what Cole Pern said. We got to hope Kyle Busch is using up his stuff, because we know how aggressive he is, and I believe that's what happened.
The only last lap pass at Sonoma for the win so far. 1991, when Larry Mack's driver Davey Allison passed Ricky Rudd for the win. Then, of course, there was Tony Stewart and Denny Hamlin, but that was a race of a different sort.
And I was going to say, all those were questionable of whether they were actually passes.
Look at Martin. He looks back, so I think I got this. And guess what?
There it is.
I think he's got it too.
6 car lengths in the middle of turn 11, and it might as well be 6 miles. Around the final corner to the checkered flag, Martin Truex Jr.
Way to go, baby. Way to go. Hell yeah, well, it's just an impossible today. You are the man. Hell yeah, baby. Here comes Kyle up beside you, bud. There you go.
I heard Clayton all day long. He taking a nap up there. It's Clayton Hughes, a spotter.
23rd career victory for Truex. He won at Charlotte in May. 4th win of the year. And it's his 4th season with at least 4 wins, as Ryan Blaney crosses the line in 3rd. Matt DiBenedetto in 4th, and Denny Hamlin rounds out the top 5.
You know what, Matty told me, we talked to him, in the pre-race, Michael and I did. I put my hand out to she's. I don't want no handshake. I want a hug. Good job, buddy.
Well, that hug brought him home in 4th place. Really impressive.
This is the 7th time that Truex and Busch have finished 1-2. And the score is 4-3. 3rd time that Truex has been the winner among those 2 now teammates. Martin joins Jeff Gordon as the only drivers to win in consecutive years at Sonoma.
Giving the fans a show over there in the carousel. He's saying thank you for bringing that carousel back, Sonoma Raceway.
Yeah. I will be back.
Hey, there you go.
How about
you got
that?
Boogity, boogity, boogity. There you go.
Yes. Yes.
For Joe Gibbs Racing,
hey, look at there.
10th win of the year. And that's the car you drove Friday that Gary Souza brought, one of your former Tide Monte Carlos.
Great car. Thank him so much.
Today's victory was fueled by Sunoco. Sunoco, fuel your best. Lots more to come in California wine country as Martin Truex has defeated teammate Kyle Busch by 1.8 seconds.
he's doing, he could go to Open and get one of the sideshows and probably walk away the winner.
No doubt about it. Well, folks, we will remind everybody to get on down to the south end of the main grandstand and be sure to hang out at Sunoco Victory Circle and enjoy all the post-race ceremony with our lead announcer, Pat Sullivan. Boy, it's been a great day out here, Dick. I got to tell you, could you ask for anything more?
No, you couldn't. It was just fantastic. And I was just watching Kyle Busch. He got out of his car, got his helmet off and everything, and poured a bottle of water over his head. He was just totally used up, walking around trying to get loose enough, clapping his hands just to get some relaxation because he was pretty intense in that rundown of Truex that just fell about 1.8 seconds short. Just incredible racing by these guys.
Burning down the house is Martin Truex in his Joe Gibbs Toyota. That car had hot day drive off. Kyle Busch was sending it in at just as hard as he could, and Matt DiBenedetto looks like he's ready to go again.
He isn't.
Well, let's hear from some of the runners-up. Here's Matt.
And Mike down here on pit road, Kyle Busch going over to celebrate it, give a high five to his teammate, congratulate him. 3 laps, fresher tires, and boy, you really put on a show closing the gap. Did the car go away in one section or the other when you got within about a second?
Yeah, anytime I had to lean on the left rear, I just didn't have the drive that I needed. I was trying to hold on to it, trying to save it. I knew that was going to be the problem. That'd been our problem all day long. And when I got close there, you get closer, and then you're like, okay, I can get him. I better go and pounce on him fast so then he doesn't have time to pick up the pace. But it didn't work. He was obviously saving a lot. I knew he was going to be saving a lot and was going to have enough to be able to most likely hold us off, and I was right. But I still tried everything I could to get there and ran real hard. But our M&M's hazelnut spread Camry was fast, and real proud of Adam and the boys. We came here a little bit better this year than we have in years past, so that felt nice. But sucks to finish second to a teammate, but it's good for the company. So overall, Martin's really, really good here. So I'm just pumped that I actually ran good here.
Thanks, Kyle. Jamie?
Matt DiBenedetto, first career top 5 finish, best career finish. How hard fought was this one, Matt?
Oh, dude, this is team effort. I'm just so lucky to be doing this. I know I say it every time I get interviewed, but my path to get here has been so out of the ordinary and old school, and I'm so thankful. I can't tell you how many people took a chance on me to have this opportunity. My sponsor, Procore, Toyota, TRD, Joe Gibbs Racing, Dumont Jets. So all these people, Bob, Sharon, Levine, and Michael, even my crew chief Wheels, he was crew chief in Denny for the past few years. All those people had to say yes and approve me getting in this car and take the chance on me. And I don't know how to explain how thankful I am. That was so fun. My home state. My wife, Taylor, couldn't be here. Babe, I love you so much. Thank you for supporting me through all the hard times. And this one is for my buddy, AJ Allmendinger, for helping me so much. And DW, this one's for you, brother. I'm glad we got you a good finish, man. You've done so much for me. You're the best.
Well done.
Thanks, Jamie. Great day for Matt DiBenedetto. Getting to be a crowded spot, Victory Lane. As you watch from our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, those who live up to their names make one for themselves. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. Martin's out of the car. Let's join the celebration with Regan Smith.
Martin Truex Jr., 3rd time at Sonoma, 4th time this season. You get to Victory Lane here.
What an impressive run at the end of that race on old tires. Kyle had fresher tires and was coming for you. How did you hold him off?
Just dug down deep and tried to be smooth and hit my marks. And luckily I was able to have a big enough gap where I could settle in and not feel too much pressure. But it was definitely difficult. That was the longest run of the race there at the end for us on tires, and it felt terrible the last 20 laps. I mean, the last 10 it was just like on ice, just no grip anywhere. But just really proud of all these guys, and everybody on this Bass Pro Shops, Camry, everybody at TRD, everybody back at JGR, all the fans, just auto owners, everybody who helps make this thing possible. What a season we've turned this into, and I want to say thank you to DW for all you've done for us, buddy. It's been an honor to watch replays with you calling the races and stuff. I mean, it's just I've been a big fan a long time, so I want to thank you for that, and wish you the best going forward. But this group, man, they're unbelievable. Hopefully we can keep this going.
A number of drivers look at your data at this racetrack. They can't duplicate it. What is it that you have figured out on this track that they can't?
Can't tell you that, man. Come on. I mean, through the years you've seen guys figure things out, and it lasts a while. And I wasn't sure this weekend how it was going to hold up, what we've been doing, with the carousel in the big left-hand corner. It really changed things up, and it took a while to figure that out in practice. But luckily we were able to, just make the right tweaks. And I had confidence that when the track got hot and slick on the long runs that we'd have what we needed. It was just a matter of if we had enough speed to get there, and we did today.
Great job by Martin Truex. Jeff, a lot of drivers will run the car off the outside rear on a road course and burn it up, but he had such great drive off in that whole final stretch.
Yeah, and that's a combination of working with your engineers, working with your crew chief Cole Pern, and the drive that you put into it and how you feed that gas pedal and steering wheel. Great job all the way around. Obviously, even with the carousel added, they own this place right now.
Well, a great day for Joe Gibbs Racing, but Darrell, you know what it's like when you have two teammates to fight it out. I don't know if I want to be Joe Gibbs Monday morning. Do you?
Well, I'd like to be Joe Gibbs and have my two cars, but I got to tell you, the one word, and it sticks out of my mind every time I look at Cole Pern and Martin Truex Jr., confidence. Martin has so much confidence in Cole, and he strives on that. I think he's a driver that wants to be on a team where he's needed and where they like him and where they support him, and that's what he has with that group, and that's why he's running the way he is and why he's winning the way he is.
Well, let's hear from our winning Canadian crew chief. Back to Regan.
Well, Cole Pern, we see you calm, cool, and collected on that pit box during the race, but how nervous were you at the end of that race that this wasn't going to be where you ended up in victory lane today?
A little more nervous as it went there. I think early on the run I kind of was like, oh man, maybe we pitted too early, but we were kind of messed up with that 32 there. And Kyle came out of the pits really strong on those early laps, but Martin did a great job managing the car. And as the run went on, we kind of started to level off to each other and made it all seem possible. But all those lap cars there and just hitting all the time and right when the 43 almost went off the track, you clenched your butt cheeks a little bit much. But Martin did a great job and we held on.
Did you ever contemplate a longer strategy in terms of staying out a little bit longer like you did last year to win this race this year?
Yeah, we were kind of right in that window, and I figured the 18 would probably do that, but then we were going to about to get past with the 32 just come out on pit road, so we were going to lose a bit of time in that. So just elected to come a couple laps earlier than we wanted just to net the gain out, and it ultimately worked out. I wasn't so sure there for a bit, but again, Martin just did a great job managing the tires. The longest run of the day, slick track, and he did an awesome job.
A great team effort. Martin Truex, Cole Pern. The winners list does not grow. Still 6 drivers have been to victory lane this season.
No, but that rivalry does grow between those teammates of Truex and Busch.
You heard Kyle Busch say, no fun running second to your teammate.
Yeah, that was a little dig,
it was.
Well, they're tied at 4 wins apiece, but Jimmy Johnson has fallen below the cut line. Ryan Newman now 1 precious point ahead of Johnson in the battle for the playoffs.
And that was a phenomenal day by Ryan Newman. The way they called that race, the strategy, that top 10 finish was big.
While Martin Truex celebrates, we have much more to come from Sonoma. Fox NASCAR coverage continues right after this.